when you're ready. Good evening, everyone. Good afternoon, everyone. Doing it again. Welcome to this edition of the Nantucket Historic District Commission. It is Tuesday, May 6th at 4:02 p.m. Let's see, can I get a motion to approve the agenda?
So moved.
And then I'll go back to the obligatory comments of this meeting is being audio video recorded. Anything you say or share will be shown on the town's YouTube. Please act accordingly. If anyone wants to record us, let the chair know, please. All comments through the chair to help make it easier for our minutes maker, and please wait to be recognized by the chair for the same reason I was given a ask for help earlier this afternoon on that topic. Okay, let's see, announcements, HDC public comment. We're going to do this maybe one more meeting, and that is that the HDC related comments and or concerns are to be sent to HDC public comment, no spaces, again, HDC public comment at nantucket-ma.gov, nantucket-ma.gov. And comments are due by 8 a.m. the Monday prior to the meeting, and we urge people to submit those. They are sent to the commissioners in the morning, and we have an opportunity to sit and read them all at once before the meeting, and they also will become part of the public record, so that could help people along the way. Abby's running late. Okay. Thank you for that public service announcement. On consents, let's see, any recusals?
Yeah.
Ray?
Now, I wonder about
Me
our,
too.
yeah,
And Val.
Val's out too.
Carrie, you good? I'm good. So there's three of us, and I think we can do this unless one of you object, Angus or Carrie.
Nope.
Okay, can we get a motion to approve consent?
So moved.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Thank you very much. Consent with conditions, same routine. Who do we need to
Carries
have?
all.
I need to get off of that one.
Ray, you're good?
I'm good.
Val?
I'm good too.
Okay, so it will be Angus, Val, Ray, and Stephen. Excuse me, is there a motion?
Motion to approve consent with conditions.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Excellent, thank you. Signs, let's see, which ones, by number do we want to speak on outside the group this evening, this afternoon? Nikki, good evening. Good afternoon. What is with my clock?
It's not evening yet.
No.
Nikki?
Nikki, not Mickey.
Nikki, you're
Nikki.
close in the alphabet.
There she is.
Hey, Nikki, can you tell me by number which of the sign applications there's going to be some supplemental information provided by you? So looking at the agenda, which,
Sorry, hold on.
or by its street address is fine.
I think she
Okay,
said,
so it's 10 Straight Wharf. The applicant has requested to be reviewed by the full commission. 10
Okay.
Straight, Jack and Charlie.
Okay, any others?
No, that's all.
Okay,
Could
are there
Steve-
any recusals on sign? Okay, it'll be Angus, Val, it'll be the five of us sitting here. So Angus, Val, Ray, Carrie, and myself.
Mr. Chair,
Yep,
could I just ask a question before you get started?
go ahead.
I didn't realize that I needed to inform the staff if I wanted to be heard by the full board. Is that how it works on one of my applications?
Yes, what we could do is pull yours for future review. That would be,
Do you want me to give you the address?
yeah, please.
34 Main Street,
Okay,
and it's
so
under
number-
NIR Retail.
Number 13, why don't we hold let's get a motion to hold number 13, 34 Main Street till next week.
So moved.
So if staff want to prepare comments, they may.
Okay.
On the
And-
motion, same as the consent with conditions group, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Okay, so 13, 34 Main Street is off the agenda. Can we get a motion to, go ahead.
Mr. Chair, excuse me.
Yeah.
If I understood correctly, numbers 2 through 17 with the exception of 13, which is now off.
Yep.
I'm going to assume that we're voting through as per recommendations, right?
That is the case. Is that your motion?
Well, yeah, but so now number 1 is being pulled, right?
Yeah, so we're voting on 2 through 17 sans, without 13, sorry.
Or 1?
Well, yeah, 2 through 17 minus 13.
Oh, sorry, yeah, 2, 3, yeah, okay. That's my motion.
Okay, thank you. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Okay, so 13's off the agenda. We're going to go back to 10 Straight Wharf freestanding sign. Is the applicant's agent present?
Mr. Chair, she is.
I'm here.
Who's on?
Linda.
Oh, good evening, Linda.
Hey, I'm usually at the meeting, as you know, but I picked up the flu from town meeting. Yay.
Oh,
Super
well,
spreader.
that's not good.
Yeah. Wonderful. Somebody was typhoid in there.
Okay, well, hold on 1 sec. Okay, so Nikki, you're going to speak to after Linda?
Well, the chair is there, Chris Young, through you, Mr. Chair. Chris Young is there, the chair for the Sign Advisory Council. So he will be speaking after Linda.
Okay, great, thanks. Linda, go ahead, proceed.
Okay, first off, I know they held it this morning because I was at the meeting for revisions. I do realize that we have to revise that sign. It's just not going to function the way they have it. Originally, someone else put it in. Just to give you the background, this is sort of an interesting situation on a freestanding sign at Jack and Charlie's Ice Cream Shop. Are you all aware of where that is to the left of the Macy warehouse?
Yep.
I understand the sign policy, but just to give you some background so you can think about it or go down and take a look. In between now and when it comes back with a different sign configuration, the dimensions are just a little out of whack. I put in, if you get a chance between now and the next time to take a look at the history of it, I put in the pictures all the way back into the 1940. There was a freestanding sign there, and it existed up until recently. Around 2019, I checked, 2019, the DPW put that handicap ramp on the Macy warehouse and redid all that sidewalk in front of Jack and Charlie's as well as the Macy warehouse. They decided, in order to do it, they pulled out the freestanding sign, which had been in there for, 80, 90 years, and threw it in the back of a truck and didn't bother to ask anybody's permission and took it away. Well, immediately they were contacted and they said when they were finished with it, yes, they would put it back. They would pay to fix it because they wrecked it, and they would pay to fix it. In the meantime, that particular DPW director left, COVID hit, and they never put it back. So Kim Glowacki went and at his expense reconstructed it, had it remade the way it was, and put it back in on his property, which is right there in that corner of the Macy warehouse and Jack and Charlie's property. And we're running into trouble now because, granted, it's a freestanding sign. It's caught between not grandfathered and grandfathered, though we didn't take it out. And if you look at all the signs along Federal Center, except for the Roberts House group, all the way up from Tavern, all the way up to the bank, every single one of them has a 0 front yard setback for the most part, and either one or multiple signs. Hanging signs, wall signs, another hanging sign. If you look at the old Robinson's building, which is where the Vineyard Vines is, they've got 4 signs on that building. They're not that far apart. So what we'd like to do is put a sign back up there, and you'll see when you float through the other stuff, there's the sign that was there. There's the thing that was there before. When you float through all the other pictures, when you get time to do that, you will see that there's been a sign there all along. And when the property was sold to Kim in 2016, the little gallery left and they took the sign down, and he was very angry because they were supposed to leave the sign apparently until he came back in to get a new sign with his Jack and Charlie on it. They took the sign away, and right after he bought it, they took a while to obviously reconstruct the interior of the little gallery for an ice cream shop, which is an extensive thing for several months. they went to do this and DPW had pulled the sign out by the time they got ready to do it. So now we're left in where we're not grandfathered technically because the sign left. He didn't put a sign back up, but the whole thing left. And so now that he recreated it and put it back in, he wants to put a sign up there. So it's very interesting. This is the building next door to it where the Four Winds is. That was a blacksmith shop. They had a freestanding sign up until maybe 5 or 6 years ago. So it's not atypical, but we're the only structure that's 20 feet plus off the street frontage. So there's absolutely nothing we can do to let people know we're there, which is why there was a freestanding sign in front of the little gallery, the Robert Taylor galleries and all that stuff for years. There's still a bracket on the actual Macy warehouse, which they're not using because they have a sign over the door now. But I wanted to give you the background because if we can't work it, we're going to work it out with the sign committee as much as we can, especially reworking the sign itself. We're back to where the dimensions of the historic sign, which is much more vertical and narrow, as opposed to 4.5 feet by 2.5 feet, which was never going to work. I just wanted to give you the background. So you have time to take a viewing down there and you have time to look around at everybody else's signs and where
Linda?
our signpost is.
Linda?
Yeah.
So if we're gonna do a view, then it doesn't make a ton of sense to be starting to talk about this, I think, tonight.
No, I just wanted to give you the background so you know what you're looking for and you're looking at. And so you have time to look at all the pictures and the history of this thing.
Yeah, and I think what we're gonna do is we've heard what you had to say. We have the chair of the sign advisory committee here. We'd like to hear what he has to say. We have the information you provided, and then we'll do a view and we'll pick it up next week. And that way, if the SAC chair wants to come back, he's more than welcome, but if he doesn't want to,
Well, we're going to have to go back to the SAC
Linda?
to deal with the sign itself. So,
Okay, thank you. Chris, good evening.
Good evening, thanks. So just to give a little background from our perspective, we're familiar with this location by way of many previous applications that have come before us. Just quick background on the moratorium. In 1986, there was a moratorium placed on freestanding signs. There was an opportunity through May of 1991 to register any pre-existing signs so that they could be considered grandfathered. That's just the background on freestanding signs. Since then, we've been instructed not to approve anything new. In May of 2010, Atlantic applied for a freestanding sign using this armature. I've given you the applications that, Stephen, you have a copy of these, Mr. Chair. So in 2010, Atlantic applied to use that sign. The determination was at that time that due to the fact that no sign had been on that armature for a number of years, it wasn't approvable and it was denied. In May of 2016 and June of 2016, Town Pool applied to put a sign on that armature. The same recommendation was made that it wasn't approvable because no sign had been there for many years. In May of 2017, Jack and Charlie's asked to put a sign on that armature. They were denied because there had been no sign there for many years. So we're just trying to maintain what we've always said about this armature. It's unfortunately been abandoned for many years, and we don't see how, having told many other applicants that it's not approvable, that we could change our stance.
Thank you, Chris. So just, I want to make sure I'm clear. It doesn't meet the grandfathering criteria because one, it hasn't been there, and two, they didn't apply for it otherwise to qualify. During the
Yes,
period?
once it goes out of use and it's been abandoned, as far as we can tell from going back to the May 2010 application even, at that point it was determined that it had been abandoned for many years. So we have there are historical records of pictures that were presented. In fact, what's interesting is the Kenneth Taylor Gallery, which is the only real sign we could identify that was presented. I think it was from 1948. That Kenneth Taylor Gallery was actually in the Thomas Macy warehouse. So it was a sign for a different, meaning that signpost may have been intended at the time it was used for the Macy warehouse, not the the location at 10 Straight Wharf. But that's not really our concern. It's more about having told many applicants in the past that it's not approvable due to the fact that it was abandoned.
Okay, and then just another point of clarification, because I don't know if we're actually going to even need to do a view. The May 17th, 2016, you all don't have this, but I just, for your benefit, indicates 531 denied this, does not comply with guidelines. The freestanding armature has been abandoned for 20 plus years. The same characteristics and so on and so forth? Okay. And then the other, June 7th,
If you're looking at the 2016, it's interesting, they seem to have reapplied a month later.
yeah, and then that was denied, that it hadn't been there for at least 3 years, but that was 2016. Okay, I guess before we decide that we're gonna do a view, it will be Angus, Abby, Val, myself, and Ray. the regular
Mr.
board.
Chair, just so you know, Linda has her hand up again.
Okay, Linda, we're gonna have some debate, discussion, deliberation amongst ourselves at this point.
That's fine. I just wanted to point out that there was a sign there in 2016 because the little gallery was there.
Okay, I think it's the armature that's the concern. Okay, who would like to begin? I guess the question I have is, do we feel we need to do a view, or can we just talk about this and make a determination here and now?
I'm familiar with the location and the signs that are around there, so I'm happy to just
Okay, is there
discuss.
anyone uncomfortable with proceeding at this point? Okay, so let's proceed. Who'd like to begin?
I think the fact, I was actually, oh, thank you.
Yeah, no, just for the minutes.
Yeah, right. I think the fact that, well, I should preface my ultimate thought with, oh, well, there's a bracket there and there were signs there. I was unaware, frankly, and I was on the sign committee at one point. I was unaware that there was this moratorium and you had to register the bracket and it's been abandoned, da-da-da, all that background information that Chris just provided us with. And I think that it would be inconsistent to approve something in a location that's been disapproved like 4 times, it sounds like, at least 4 or 5 times, including the current owner, I believe, right? So, yeah, I don't think a view would be required for me to determine that this is just not appropriate.
Okay, does anyone have anything to add?
No.
Okay, what would we like to do?
Well, I think
Deny
we
the
should-
application.
I would like to have it held so we can work with the sign committee because that's what they asked me to do, is fix the sign. It may work.
Okay, so the motion would be to refer this back to the sign committee to refer the applicants and the applicant's agent back to the sign advisory committee for further review and modifications.
Yep.
That's the motion. Val, did you want to make that?
Sure.
Excellent. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Carries. Okay, thank you so
And
much.
I'd still like you guys to take a view when next time you're wandering around down there.
Thanks, Linda. Feel better. Okay, Commissioner Q&A with Preservation Planner. Do we have questions for Holly on the packet of information? Okay. I keep looking for you over there.
No, I don't.
You don't remember that? No. And then they had a fire. You don't remember Bob Schrock?
Pardon me?
Oh, she's at looking at the theater over there.
Oh.
Oh,
Picture.
yeah.
They had a fire.
Anyone, questions, comments, concerns? The staff report. Do you have anything in particular you want to point out? Re-emphasize?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Yeah, I would say the one out in Nantucket is something to really look at. It's a little atypical.
Which number?
5 California. And I
Which,
number 14.
14? Thank you.
And as I did indicated in my staff comments, I would highly recommend referring to a building with Nantucket in mind.
Always a good idea.
Absolutely. No other really of major concerns with these. So let me know if there's any questions.
Okay, thanks. Anything on the CLG front?
Not right now.
Okay. And we'll talk more projects, and I've got to read on the crack thing.
Yes,
Cool.
absolutely.
Thank you. Oh, would you, I just wanted to let you know the considerations, this is a comment to Holly on the historic determination form, which I thought was well done. I wanted to consider whether we needed to have, with respect to stretch additional language. And I think what we'll do is we'll come up with a passage to include in each letter so that if we make a historic determination, it doesn't get bounced back from DOER.
May I?
Yeah, please.
We've already actually done that between yourself and my, on an application in the past, so I can.
The point was simply just to formalize that as in the operating manual
Absolutely.
that we have for the office.
Yep.
So can we
Kathy,
use this yet or no?
we haven't, it's a draft, and I had asked that it be held for one consideration by all the membership if they had additional comments for Holly. I knew I had some comments, or I may have some comments. I resolved what I needed to. I mentioned it, so she's aware we haven't had a chance to talk, number one. Number two, to see if anyone else has comments that they'd like to add now that they've had it for a week. Any comments?
No, I think that was a good ad.
Okay. And then three, to put you point as the action item to add it to the agenda for a vote next week. All right? Cool, thank you. All right, so we're gonna move on to held over per commissioner's request from 429, which is 31 Shimo, which is actually gonna be after 5 PM.
Yes, the applicant can't get here till then.
And do we have anyone on Zoom who's in a butter? Is there any abutters?
Not that I'm aware of.
Okay, if you are, please raise your hand, just so we know. And we can hit them with a demerit for the delay. Not to be punitive, of course. Okay, 3 Miles Court. Rated, I'm sorry.
Yeah, he's not here, and I've emailed him several times. He did sign an extension till the end of the year, so.
Okay.
Okay, so we're holding that one too.
Yeah,
For a year.
I'd rather it not become like a skit at the beginning of the meeting that we go through every, like, oh, there's Georgie again. Haven't seen him since the beginning of time. Yeah. Let him know that we'll act on it without his presence. I don't want to have stuff lollygagging around. Is that okay with everyone? Okay, so that moves us on to 5 Watimo.
Watamo, I think.
Watamo. Is that an, oh, that's an A. Yep, for sure. Hey, Andrew.
How's everybody doing? Kathy, can you make it so I can share? Oh, Fiona, can you make it so can I share?
Yes, of course.
Yep.
Ooh, the room color changed. Did you notice that? And the blue light went on? On the screen.
Great. How's everybody doing? Haven't been here in a while. Nice to see you all. This is a new house in Pulpis on 5 Watamo. I'm going to zoom in to give everybody a sense of the context of where the house is. So just for, if you look at the screen, I don't know if y'all want to look back. This is where the sort of subdivision development is that was done, I don't know, many years ago, and there was a zoning overlay put on it that put a 25-foot ridge height limitation on it. The housing sites are pretty far back from the entrance to Pulpis Harbor, so the visibility from the water side is very, very limited, except from a far distance, unless you were kayaking into to this area back through here. The site that we're talking about is at the end of the cul-de-sac in Watamo, sort of here where I've highlighted in blue. And further to that, the restrictions put on the site when the subdivision were done were somewhat extensive about where the building envelope could also be. So you can see in the site plan that I have on the screen right now, there's sort of this red dashed area, and all of the structures have to be built within that. There's no second dwelling allowed, so it can only be one primary structure on the site as well. Additionally, the topography of the site, the highest point of the site is up at elevation 20. That is more towards the northern part. And where we're building dips down about to elevation 16, 17. So it's about 3 feet lower than the highest portion if you were to ever see it from the road. We spent a bit of time through this design process collaborating with the neighbors. There should be in the file, I hope you all have met them, a message from each one of the abutters that are in support of this project. I don't know if that's something that gets read for the record anymore or not, but we did go through that due diligence to make sure everybody in the neighborhood was on board with our approach. From a site plan point of view, you come in off of the street at the edge of the cul-de-sac. There's going to be pretty heavy vegetation. There's really the only elevation of the house that is really visible is going to be the west elevation. Everything else is virtually not visible at all, except, as I said, from an extreme distance from the water looking back. The main house sits sort of oriented, obviously, towards the water view within that building envelope that we have. HDC already approved on consent the site plan and the outdoor pergola. So I'm here tonight with 3 components, which is the main house, an outdoor sort of cabana building, and a shed that exists up at the road. Sorry, Val?
I can wait. It's unusual we'd approve a pergola with nothing else on the site, but.
No, the whole landscape plan was also approved. The pool and all the landscape was approved already.
All right, continue, Andrew, please.
Okay. So I'm going to just jump into some of these diagrams, which I've done recently, which I think the HTC has found very helpful, just kind of documenting all of the houses in the context, giving you a sense of their size, scale, orientation, and things like that. You can see all of the houses kind of twist and turn into this development. I've included here also great aerial shots, giving you a sense of where our house is going here between these 2 other homes. I assume you've all looked at it from the view pack. And then here is, in the winter, sort of the view looking in, which gives you a sense of this western elevation of the house is the only piece that you can really see from the street at all. Everything else is not visible. In the neighborhood, all of the homes currently have white trim, every single one of them. We sort of worked with our client to convince them that, one, we're not big white trim people, so we're doing gray to sort of break it up so it isn't this sea of white as you look back from the water. We've done our best to try to document, as I did before, sort of the general ridge, the continuous mass of the building stretching east to west on all of the sites, and they all vary between around 125 feet down to 80 feet, depending on the exact orientation of the house. Most of the homes in the neighborhood also are sort of more like 50 to 75% a second story, and our house is really sort of under 50% has a second story. Most of it is 1-story masses put together, sort of a pavilion-based approach. The glazing, we've done this a few times also, just giving you kind of the percentage of glazing on the house. We're sort of right in the mean of all of the houses that exist in the neighborhood, so nothing is sort of sticking out from the approach that we have. I'll put up on the screen some of the renderings that we've done that you all should have had in the supplemental view pack. So this gives you, this is our lot in the middle. These are the existing houses here as seen as an aerial view. Again, if you were coming in the Pulpus Harbor back here, the distance that you look back is quite far to try to see the house. This would be kind of the most visible piece that you would see from the road, and even this is probably exposing more of the house and will ultimately be seen once we plant trees and the existing vegetation on the north side. But the shed is gable forward towards the street, and the house is sort of twisted and turned because based on our building envelope, the front door really can't face the street on the site, the way we've oriented it. But again, you get a sense of the gray trim, red cedar roof, white cedar sidewall, sort of a 1.5-story mass due to that 25-foot ridge height limitation that we have, and we're at 24 feet 6. This would be if you were sort of in a kayak approaching tight up to the house and sort of standing in the marshland. We wanted to do this to give you a sense of kind of the scale of what we're proposing against the adjacent homes. I think it kind of fits in and nestles in pretty nicely there. All of the houses that are done are sort of glass end to end. We've broken ours up, as I've done in numerous projects lately, to try to break that up. And then I've also done sort of the nighttime view, which I know is part of the HDC sort of concern in a house that you recently approved down the road. And so I don't think there's any difference from what we're proposing to the others. And again, I just want to emphasize that this house is sort of, most of it is 2 stories except for the little ends. And we kind of only have these 2 pieces of 2-story. Most everything is on the single floor coming across the site. It's a 3,000 square foot house. It's not huge on the ground. Some of the lots in this neighborhood are larger, so they're able to have larger houses, and I think we're, pretty much in keeping with what's in the context. So I'll stop there, Mr. Chair, because I see you staring at me.
Thank you. It's starting to work.
Well, I looked up.
It's taken me a while.
I
to
looked
get
up. If I didn't look up, I
but
would have
that
kept
was a
talking.
compulsion. I was like bearing in to see if you'd look up. Okay, no, Andrew, that's very all good information, helpful. Regular board, who would like to begin?
I have a quick question.
Ray, please.
Did they abandon the homeowners association review part out there?
They did. That's why we reached out to all of the homeowners right expired.
Okay. 'Cause
Yep. So we
back
reached out to
back
every
in the
single
day,
one.
You used to have to submit to
Yep.
the homeowners association.
If Kathy wants to read the letters, I think they're pretty compelling if the board feels like they're important, but
They would have gone in, they were in our packet.
Yeah, they were
Yeah.
there.
No, in the view pack, right? Well, who did the view pack?
I got an email with it.
Yeah.
Our plan was to drag him in.
I emailed you last week on a public comment email for 5 days. Or maybe this morning, I forget.
I guess what I'm trying to ask is, were the letters that Andrew mentioned included
Yeah.
in that? Okay, that's what I was trying to determine. Thank you.
and again, they were all positive, just saying.
That's a positive for you. Okay, Ray, any other questions?
No,
You wanna dive in?
Yeah, I'm fine with this. Well, this is a seriously minor thing, given that Andrew has correctly pointed out that all those houses have white trim. It just says on the application gray. Do you have a gray in mind?
Quaker Gray.
Quaker gray. There we are. I just, gray stuff tends to come up where it just says gray, and we should be more specific about that. Quaker gray, thank you. That's the only thing I have. Thank
Thanks.
you very much, Mr. Chair.
Bale, thank you.
I can't get it to come up, but,
Here.
no, I looked at it earlier on my computer. The only thing that I really have concerns with is the use of the glass connectors with the grass roof. We seem to be getting a lot of glass connectors lately.
Did you say grass?
Glass
Okay.
and grass.
Glass and grass.
Green roof.
Not,
What do you mean a green room?
okay, anything else?
No,
Angus?
I appreciate the simple volumes and the gray paint. This area, if you go to the site plan or the overview, the sort of the sky view, yeah. This is actually a very challenging sail, but I love doing it, is coming up through here into this area. And one thing that always stands out to me is the white on the houses, so I so appreciate the proposal for gray. Could we go to the view that looks more from the water back to these houses? Yeah, so the houses that are surrounding this, even though they're two-story, so this pretty much reads as one story, story and a half. This house and then the house over here, the two-story aspect, this is actually, the eave is down story and a half. And then there's a whole roof in front of that. And likewise, could you go to the view that has maybe more of a view? It's like an aerial view.
This one, Angus?
Yeah, but looking from here back this way.
This one?
Yeah, that's it, I think. So this house has the same thing here. You can see this lower roof line and there as well. So my concern is the freestanding volume. Maybe go back to the view of just this house. Yeah, so my concern is not just the two-story volumes here, but also the glass railings here that then expose these full-length windows that are sort of read as French doors, and the night shots emphasize that. But those are those are a concern, especially with the glass railings. So those are my only issues with it.
Thank you. Angus? I'm sorry, Abby?
Yes, so I have the same concerns about the glass balconies there showing off those six long French doors. And the glass connector is, yeah, I think it's too much. I'd like to see that scaled back.
Thanks, Abby. Val, you went, Ray, you went. I'm actually fine with this as it is, based upon its location. I think that the other structures in the area, except for four, are just vastly over-fenestrated, and the night shots demonstrate the effect, even with the second-story exposed windows. I don't disagree with Angus that it draws attention to them to have the glass rail. I'd like to ask Andrew to please consider an alternative there, and maybe we revisit it. You know, you do a mock-up with some plywood on the rails, and we revisit it when it's actually there and in place. But your imagery, you know, paints a picture of what it's going to look like, I presume, fairly, if not exactly accurately.
It's pretty exact.
Yeah, I think so.
I can do the, which we did on the house down the road, I can do the turtle glass on the
glass.
gaskets. Val, to your point, to like have them sort of 50% disappear at night, the glow. Because during the day, you can't tell the difference between the gasket here and all the windows and fenestration on all these houses. I mean, it's imperceivable in the end.
Yeah, no, I don't agree with you, but I'm only one vote. I think I get the concerns about the glass connectors. I think in this location, given the extremely limited visibility from, really just from the water. I would suggest that the grass roof patches, no bocce up there, and that we would approve them based on it being a test case.
He's done them.
The grass roofs I've done like 20 times.
Yeah, I still would.
It's a
do
sedum tray. You can't, just a fuzz. You can't actually see it. It's environmentally sound in that it slows down the water runoff
I
on the
get
structure
all
and
that.
absorbs
I
it.
just was,
No bocce.
no bocce.
bocce.
Okay. What do we want to do? Do we want to go with, are people comfortable with the turtle glass railing as we've approved? And what's the address on that one?
72 Pocomo.
Pocomo, up on the bluff,
Mhm.
higher. Yeah, that's,
Far more
I personally
visible.
would like to see it shingled, but
okay.
I'm just one person.
No, that's fine. Angus?
I'm with Abby.
Abby Shingle.
Just because of the length of the fenestration, it would make those read more like windows
Okay.
than doors.
Val?
Oh, I'm not sure. Maybe not shingled, because that would block their view.
That would-
Could you
yeah.
Just balusters painted gray or something to mitigate, like Angus said, the verticality of.
I can do the balusters if that appeases you, Val.
Yeah, Andrew, I think you could always bring back, and I mean, what's the distance to the water that this is actually going to be seen? It's
Like a quarter mile.
I'm not trying to make your case for you. You need to do
No,
that.
you made me stop talking. As Angus said, 90% of the traffic into Pulpus Harbor is way out here, which is probably about, I don't know, a quarter mile out. There are those that maybe sail, maybe on a kayak, come back up to here. And then this distance from here back to here is probably like 500 feet.
Okay.
500 feet, which again, I mean, we tried to do our best job possible. And this showing if somebody was to come up in a kayak or a boat to the edge of the water, which I don't think is super common. And
No, I get you.
I'm not sure it's very perceivable to be able to tell whether there's the railing or not. You can't actually see, you can barely see this railing on this deck over here, and all these doors are floor to ceiling, which equal the total that we have on this structure. So again, I think comparably, it's very, very equal in the end.
Okay. I think it's going to hinge on you, Val. Would you prefer it be baluster and he comes back, or are you good with a turtle glass like we've approved in the past? What do you think? Not to put you on the spot, but
I could care less about the railing. I'm more concerned about the
Connectors.
connectors.
okay.
I mean, the
So-
reality is, Val, just on the connectors, there is this cabana, which is a natural to weather piece that we're gonna hopefully talk about now that blocks that one. This one, I mean, there's gonna be plantings, like, I just don't think they're really that perceivable from the distance. I don't, and at night is, I think, was the board's major concern on a few other projects. And again, when you put the turtle glass on it, as I showed you last time, it sort of cuts down on 50% of the output of light.
What
in the
about turtle
evening.
on the connectors?
That's what I'm saying.
Okay,
Yeah,
just wanna
that's what I'm
make sure.
saying. I'll do it on the
So turtle on
connectors.
the connectors?
Oh, well, I was misunderstanding something then. Didn't you suggest doing it on the railings as well?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
You did, okay.
Yeah, yep.
Val, does that help you at
It
all? or
doesn't
not?
have to all hinge on me.
Well, no, I mean, we basically got, I think, look, the consensus is that you're the hinge vote. So I'm just trying to determine what your thoughts are so I can determine how to try and suggest we move forward so we can,
I'm gonna just hazard a,
thank you, Ray.
all right? I'm, what the heck?
No pressure.
I just want to remind you guys, we
You
are
only-
the authority having jurisdiction.
You
Please
only
speak
live
up,
once.
your
Okay,
mind.
so I would make a motion to approve this on the condition that the glass in the connectors and on the railings is turtle glass. That's obviously through staff.
Okay.
Can I second that for,
Brief, as long as we're not rehashing prior points, because then we're getting into a position where we're trying to talk other members into our point of view, and that's not really what we're here for. So as long as it's fresh material, you're good. If it's not fresh material,
it's not
save your-
quite fresh material because you had already mentioned it, but just that this is a test case.
Okay,
Oh, you mean add that to the motion?
for this general area.
Yes.
As viewed from the harbor.
Oh,
Yep.
I'd be happy to.
I think that makes a lot of sense. So that's Ray's motion as a condition. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
I'm opposed. One.
For the record, Abby Camp opposed. Okay. Shed.
Thank you all very much. Shed,
Don't leave yet.
I'm not. No, I was just saying thank you.
Oh, okay.
I was saying thank you for that one. The shed,
Can I? May I?
sorry,
Ray?
go ahead.
In the interest of,
It's very innocuous.
Yes, I thought we
yeah,
would have a motion by
okay,
now.
and here it comes. I move
can't
to
bring it up
approve the
anyway.
shed as submitted.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Regular
Aye.
board, thank you. Andrew, now you can say thank you.
Thank you. There's a
out.
cabana now that you said, Mr.
Oh,
Chair, we
right,
would
I
jump to,
forgot.
that is
Right, pull that
down.
up.
How could I have forgotten that cabana? So the cabana is number 16,
Yeah.
and we're gonna advance that. And
And just to refresh the board, this is the cabana right here. It's on the water side. It is natural to weather cedar, just like the pergola that was already approved. It is actually sunken down into the ground about 5 feet. So it has a height of about 7 feet, but with the slope and the grasses, it virtually disappears. It's essentially closed walls. Here it sits at the edge of the pool in front of the house. It's essentially an open pergola element with some natural to weather shiplap walls in it, open in the middle.
Okay.
So virtually I would say no visibility.
any questions for Andrew on that? Any concerns? A motion?
It's just very hard that it's not coming up very easily. I think we're all having
Ah,
trouble.
that's why we preview. Andrew.
Where do you want me to go, Abby? I can pull it all up here.
No, I got it. It's just something
Like
about
town
the,
meeting, everyone previews the article so that they're prepared to speak.
Or you can just show up and ask a bunch of questions
Waste
that
everyone's
hundreds of
time.
people have to wait for.
Do you want me to put somebody on who's previewed it?
No, it's not that. I just wanted to look at it. Is that a problem to?
No, I'm asking you if you.
Abby, I've got it right here on the screen.
I know, it's right up there. Do you have a particular page you want to look at, Abby?
No, I want to ask can you see this from the water?
No.
Because it does look kind of like a bunker.
It's like if I zoom in, it's this right here, but is natural to weather and perspective wise, if you were in a boat at the water, you would not be able to see it. This image is taken about 15 feet above, 20 feet above the water.
All right, thank you.
What would your not speed be that you would have to be slowed down to see this, Andrew?
Can you
Maybe 3.2
zoom in
knots.
on that, please?
Zoom in on it, Val? Sure.
Thank you.
Any other concerns?
I would make, no, I would make a motion to approve as submitted, as long as it isn't visible.
Andrew? Well,
You'd have to put all kinds of stipulations on that, at what elevation and what type of vessel, a human flying, I mean, I don't, what,
Oh, just from the water, sitting
Water.
in a boat,
fine.
not one with like,
I mean, again, it is a natural to weather cedar element, which is
That is
approved
ours.
all the time.
guys, we're like, I think we need to keep in mind the distance from the water,
Yeah.
the travel from the water, not to mention that the HTC legislation hasn't been changed to affect visibility from the sea or the ocean, which would include the harbor. We are spending a lot of time on things that are not perhaps visible by the naked eye by a lot of people. Now, I'm not advocating for this particular application, but time is important, so please. What do we want to do?
I
Anyone?
thought I had a motion out.
You did?
Yes, to approve as
Yes, you did. I
submitted.
forgot.
Oh.
With,
No visibility or limited visibility?
no, I was told that it wasn't visible, so I just want to confirm that
Okay.
that's what it is in our approval.
Well, you can see it in my rendering, I would say limited visibility. If you can see the upper frame of it, it just looks just like a pergola. I don't know how that's any
Yeah,
different.
and I'm sorry, but town meeting was the last couple of days, so I'm not in a position to be weaving us through these things right now. I need to know what we want to do. So there's a motion on the table, and the applicant has stated that, the applicant's agent has stated that it would be a threshold that is not obtainable, but at the same time, the practical aspect of visibility is, in his opinion, not essential or material. Do
I
you
would- yeah.
wish to continue with your motion, Andrew, Angus?
Yeah, I mean, the motion was simple. It's just like not visible. So if it is visible, there would be additional planting to make it invisible.
Fine.
Okay, thank you. We have consensus prior to the vote. On a regular board, on the motion, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye?
Opposed?
Aye.
Okay, thanks, Val. For the record, Val. And Angus, you'll mark that on the COA, please.
Yes.
Thank you. We're going to
Thank
move
you all.
on to 1 Caroline Way, fence gate. Yeah, actually, why don't we go after this one, and I'll announce from here forward, we're going to use the 2-minute timer for the applicant's agent. Total time, commissioners have 30 seconds.
Well, that's,
I presume you've all previewed. Why don't you go ahead?
Awesome. So, good evening. So this application is for 1 Caroline. It was, I think, at some point posted on a view, so I'm assuming you had a chance to review the site. This is just reconfiguration of the fence, which was approved, but I just want to kind of relocate it a little bit on top of the driveway, if you don't mind to, I'm not sharing, I just didn't have time to log in, so I just didn't want to hold this. Perfect. So practically blue portion, highlighted portion of the fence would be the proposed part of the fence. Originally, the fence was kind of wrapping up behind the pergola, meeting the guest house with the main house. Now we just want to just enclose the parking itself. So that's the one change. Additionally, we would like to change the design, or rather say match the design of the fence. Originally, the fence was approved as a picket type 2, natural to weather. The architect, and you can see it on the bottom viewport, the architect had approved a railing, which is more horizontal running. We thought to kind of simplify the site. It's on the bottom of, I don't know if Fiona might move the viewport or whoever is in charge. If you can pull up a little bit the plan, so you can see the detail of the fence. Perfect. Oh, just perfect, right there, right there. So you can see the architect has approved the horizontal railing for the railings for basement walkout and such. So we kind of just thought to simplify it and have the same continuous vernacular around the property. So that's all. So this application is practically additional fence with the change of the design from the picket to the horizontal.
Thank you, Mirka.
Thank you.
So regular board, this was on my consents. Please remind me if I don't ask you. Consentable list. I felt like this was actually approvable. It is actually reminiscent of like a FEMA lift with a horizontal board as opposed to vertical. It's not in town, but where we primarily use vertical board for that application. And there will be obviously a distance between the foundation and the fence and the gate, but in elevation, it's reminiscent of that. So that was my position, but I felt like maybe you all would want to see it. Who would like to begin?
Can I ask a question?
Yeah, me too.
Are you gonna ask the same question? Okay, so Mirka, you've got this inset.
What, I'm sorry.
It's HDC .01. Just to the left of your title block, there's this thing that says proposed fence and gate detail.
Here.
And it looks like some seriously,
That's what I was talking about.
do
Yeah,
you see my? I mean, I love it, but it looks like, yeah,
Abstract.
it's crazy. But anyway, okay, so it's not this.
Yeah.
All right, good, thank you.
Yeah, I know.
But yours is just shown as vertical ones.
Oh,
Okay, anything else, Ray, you want to comment?
No.
Any concerns?
Me? No.
Val?
it ties in with what's on the deck.
What is approved on the architecture in the back and around the house, yes.
I guess where I was confused was, this is here. Right? Is
Yes,
that-
here.
That just threw me, it seemed weird, so. And where's the gate?
It's
I did look at this ahead of time too.
So from the driveway, you don't really see it, but from the driveway, it looks like this. So it looks like that.
Kind of weird.
No.
Yeah. I don't know.
Okay. Concerns, again, going once?
I have
going twice.
concerns.
Okay, please speak, Abby.
Okay. The horizontal is pretty pronounced. I wouldn't mind if there were grasses in front. I think you probably have grasses in front, but because it's on the driveway, we're looking right in at it. So I would like to see some vegetation in front of it to just sort of soften all of that horizontal lines. You
We can
are out
definitely
on the
do that.
Cisco. So
Yeah. Mirka, question for you.
Sure.
And which one is that? A, elevation north. Can we zoom in on which one? This one here, in the middle,
Yeah.
on the lower portion. Yeah, right on that, bring it way up. Right on the bubble. And one more,
It's actually that right there,
two more clicks.
which doesn't show up on ours.
Yeah, it's weird.
Yeah, that's the one, here, go,
Yeah.
I'm sorry, go to the far right. Yeah, that's the one that's rendering oddly in
Right.
yours.
It's the same image, we just scale it so you can see it more clear.
Miracle, what are the joists that are showing? What's that? Can we
Joist
zoom in a little more?
on the bottom.
Yeah.
I think, you know what, the way how they had it attached, they have it attached outside of the concrete wall, not on top of it, so maybe that might just show the attachment if,
The bubble? There you go, thank you. Oh, so those are actually vertical elements that are the anchor points
Yeah,
at the base.
which we would not have it on the
So
fence.
that'll just extend all the way down to grade, the
That's
horizontal.
correct, yeah.
Does that answer your question?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, Abby, you are not for the horizontal element unless there's some grasses?
Yes.
Okay, Angus,
I share the same concern as Abby.
Dal,
Yeah, that'd be good.
how about a motion for conditions on the application to supplement with some grasses?
I'll make a motion. Motion to approve, with the condition that there are some plantings in front of grasses, I guess, in front of this,
Fence.
fence.
Okay, thank you. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? That carries.
Thank you.
Thanks, Mirka. Okay, we're on to 45 Surfside, regular board.
Mr. Chair, I don't see her in the queue or in the room.
Okay, so we'll hold that.
I'm gonna say-
You're gonna sit, okay. 26 Quidnet Path, remove chimney, Matt? We're doing 2 minutes on the board, and if you use less, who knows if people will give you little points in their own mind.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. We're here just to remove a chimney. Thank you.
Thank you. Big points for Matt.
Record time.
Abby, you had this on your consentable list and you brought it to the group. Do you want to comment?
Hold on one second. Oops. Oh, sorry. So go to somebody else because I'm not there yet.
Okay, Angus?
There isn't a date on the application. What's the date of the house?
That's correct.
No.
Oh, actually, could I concede to Carrie B on this one because she's a Quidnet kind of person?
Sure. So active members will be regular board sans Abby and Carrie will be standing in.
I don't have a concern with the moving of the chimney.
Carrie, since you are newly on board,
I do not have a concern either.
okay. Does anyone have a concern with this?
Nope.
Do we have a motion, please?
Motion to approve is submitted.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, very nice.
Thank you.
This is what?
Thanks, Matt.
Oh, the
5 Baxter Road. I have a feeling this one might be a little different. Let's see. Do we have Aiden? Hey, how are you,
How's it
Aiden?
going? I'll be even quicker.
Welcome to the HDC.
Thank you.
Okay, so this one is gonna have some comments from Holly, but why don't you go ahead and present and we'll take it from there.
Okay. Mr. and Mrs. Zepp have been informed by their homeowners insurance that the removal of a non-functioning freestanding chimney would be ideal for their insurance company. I provided all the images that I could possibly find from the main road of Baxter and Butterfly and of Sankaty. I've also provided images from the Sconset Bluff Walk, so in case anybody walking by will be able to visually see this chimney removed. Hopefully it will not affect their viewpoints. Yeah, it's pretty straightforward. The house was built in 1905, I believe, but on the HDC website, it states 1934. It was once owned by the Roosevelt family, and that this chimney on the screen was part of the addition. So if you go back to the original images that I've gotten from the HDC, or not the HDC, from the NHA, that it actually would render the original house, I guess, from back then. So really, it's kind of reverting back to the original history of the house. And yeah, it's kind of.
That's it? That's okay.
40 seconds to spare.
Nice job. Okay, so let's see. You guys have read comments from Holly, and it's the regular board who'd like to begin.
Is Rob, just
Oh, I don't, is Rob on?
Rob is not here, but he had no concerns with any of the applications in the Sconset district.
Okay,
Just so you
thank
know.
you.
I'm ready.
Val?
I so appreciate you putting the old pictures in there, and what resonated with me is this house looks absolutely nothing like the house that was there. Even if it is the same house, it just doesn't have any of that character at all.
Yeah, the intricacy of the shingles, if you can see it very up close on the old pictures, it's like very beautiful. Now it's just plain and boring.
Yeah, I do not have a concern with this at all, especially where it's placed now. It's not even in the same spot.
Okay. Angus?
Well, I'm looking at Holly's comments about it being a character defining element and that removing it would not be appropriate. I'm looking at the historic photo, which is actually, if you go to, yeah, that's actually,
That's the other chimney. That's not the one that I'm
yeah,
trying to
I
remove.
believe that that picture is backwards. Yeah. And so the view of the back would be on that side, so there's an obstructed view of what we would be, if you go to the picture that has the red sort of outline there, that's the real view, because this is Idlemore here. And so the other view is obstructing the view of where this chimney would be. So I'm against the removal of it.
Angus, I'm sorry, can you say that a different way? Because I'm not sure I understand. And before you do, the application is to remove the chimney shown in white with the Range Rover and the little yellow Mini.
Cooper.
And this chimney circled in red? Is that it?
That's right.
And so this is not the original one shown in the image?
No, there's two of them. The one that he's pointing to up above is the chimney that we're trying to remove the longer one that's more towards the kitchen. So, which is highlighted. So possibly a better picture would be below, right there. So that's on the side, and the chimney that's the main one is all in the older photos up above.
Okay, and the main chimney is not the chimney you're seeking to
We're not
remove?
removing.
Okay, I just want to make sure I understood that. And then Angus, I'm sorry, would you please repeat your comment?
So I understand that this is not the chimney that's coming out of the ridge that's shown in the historic photo. There are two historic photos that are shown. If we can go back.
We get there, one of them is reversed.
And the one that is reversed is actually not showing where the chimney would be visible. This one is showing where it would be visible here, but the other picture is from this way, looking that way, with this obstructing the view of that chimney.
Because that's the main chimney. I highlighted it just to show possibly where it would be.
So if you
but
go to the other historic photo, there,
It's still the main chimney.
the chimney is actually on the back side here. This is actually over here, and that's over there. But this photo is reversed.
I think I'm going to just move us forward, because I think Angus he understands this. He's saying that The chimney that is being removed is not shown in the historic photo, and he's noting that the photo is a mirror image. They're not necessarily the same thing, because even if you use the software to flip it, you're still not gonna see that chimney. So I don't think that's what he's saying. He's just saying that it's not visible, but it's still a concern for him. So I'm gonna move on to, who's next?
I'll go. I
Abby.
just agree with Holly that it's character defining and it sort of adds to the history of the house.
Okay, thank you, Abby. Who's left?
Me.
Ray, sorry.
Well, we've got the main chimney intact, nothing's happening with that. Clearly this building has been monkeyed with in any number of ways, but one of them is that the chimney is kind of skirting up against a single dormer, whereas the earlier photos show a triple, perhaps even of a different size. I don't think that we necessarily need to keep a second chimney there, and it sounds like it might be a little bit of a hazard, so I'm okay with the removal of this sort of secondary chimney.
Okay, thanks, Ray.
Thank you.
So that leaves me, I think. For me, I'm just stunned with the utter disrespect of the original structure and the bastardization, hominization of this architecture, which is everything that's wrong with Nantucket right now. Everything. And I'm gonna print this out and put it on the desk. And when people come in from now on houses, I'm gonna say, no, it's got too much porch, it's covered porch, it's got too much fenestration. Like, look at the character of the structure, it's amazing. Anyways, that's my little rant for the
I have another
evening.
quick comment.
Can I say one thing?
Yeah.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I don't have a concern with the secondary chimney being removed. I don't see that it's providing, well, first of all, it's painted white. They're both painted white. And I don't know if it was strategery on your part. If it was masterful. It's a gray sky, it's snowing out, and it's a white chimney. You can hardly even notice the thing. Val, go ahead.
I would just say that these chimneys have already been altered, because look at the original chimney, has that nice corbelling at the top.
Yeah.
And these are like, they have nothing, they're just parged.
And it's significantly
And it's
taller.
shorter,
Yeah.
everything about it, so for this chimney, I don't have any concerns at all.
Okay, now that this poor chimney that's probably gonna be removed has been beat up to death, what would we like to do?
I would like to motion to approve as submitted.
Okay, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
I am.
Okay, for the record, Angus is opposed. And with pleasant demeanor, I might add. 26 Honeysuckle is on hold. We are moving to 7 Folgers Lane.
Yes, Mr. Chair, Michael is online.
Michael online?
I'm here. Can you hear me?
We can hear you. Proceed. You got 2
Can I-
minutes.
2 minutes is great. Can I share my screen?
You may.
Michael, I've been trying to promote you and you've been declining it, so stand by.
Uh-oh.
Promotion pending.
It's okay if not. Oh, here we go. I got it. Thank
Yeah.
you.
Just remember, the time is ticking.
Okay. Can you still hear me?
Yes.
Great. I will go ahead and share my screen. And I will keep it very quick. So, as a reminder to the board, let me know if you can see my screen. There we go. As a reminder to the board, we were here previously with applications for this property at 7 Folger, some light renovations to the house, which is pictured here, and for a structure in the back, which we've included as part of this application because the crux of the conversation about the structure that you previously approved in the back was the lack of visibility. And I'll go through the photos for a second here. This behind the house, there's this open lawn area above the wetlands behind the house at 7 Folgers. And we submitted a series of photos at the board's request previously to really show a lack of visibility from surrounding properties on all sides. including from the park to the west. We've re-included those photos here showing with leaves, without leaves, at night, during the day, et cetera, to really emphasize that this area in the back of the property and the structure that was previously approved there has no visibility. And so what the homeowners have asked us to do is go back and really reduce the scale of what was previously approved. There was this barn structure in the back that we've listed here as previously approved, which was about 20 feet tall, pretty sizable footprint in the back there that had a chimney that was quite tall. And what we've done is really simplify it to an open air, natural to weather pergola with an outdoor fieldstone chimney. And that's about it. I think that we read Holly's questions about the structure and about the chimney, her comments, and we think that it's pretty appropriate, but even more so, there's really no visibility, especially now that it's half the height and about half the size of what was previously approved and all natural to weather. So with that, I'll turn it over to the board.
Thank you, Michael. We've read Holly's concerns. Are there any abutters?
Not that I'm aware of, Mr. Chair.
Okay, no hands up. If you're in a butter, please raise your hand. Is Mickey here?
He is.
Yes.
Mickey, not Nikki.
Right, thank you. So this is Mickey Rowland, and I'm representing the Historic Structures Advisory Group. And that's myself, Jason Finger, Mary Bergman, and Marcia Fader. So the visibility is a question mark. It's, before we looked at the notion that there's this footbridge from Coffin Park and somewhat limited visibility looking from Coffin Park into the back of this property. So I guess that's the real question mark. If it's visible, it's a pretty untraditional looking structure. The style is kind of modern. So, visibility is the question. That's it. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much.
Thank
Would
you.
like to begin. Concerns?
I can.
Ray.
So I'm with Mickey. The previous application that we approved, and I do remember the discussion, I was okay with it in its in-town location. This looks like Richard Nutra, relocated from the California desert to Cliff Road. So I'm against this one. Thanks.
Okay, thanks, Ray. Let's see, Val.
I actually was just in the backyard of the person next door. And if it's helpful, I don't know if there still is, Michael, there was a frame up was that when we asked about putting something there so we could see if we could see the bank of windows?
Correct. That, if you can see my screen still, the doors and
Yeah,
windows.
the bank of
here,
doors, yeah.
That was our mock-up
So-
of those doors.
It's still there, if anybody wants to go see if they can see that. Just because
Okay.
it's freestanding there and it would show you what the visibility is.
Well, did you look at it?
I did.
And what would you like to share with us?
Well, I could see it from the backyard I was in very clearly, but from the road, I'm not so sure, and I didn't walk down by the park. This is modern. I don't know why we have to keep pushing the envelope on these. If the chimney was slightly more rudimentary, I think it would be better. But I'm not so sure about the visibility based on having just been over there.
Okay, fair enough. Angus?
I share the concerns that have been expressed about the contemporary design and visibility. This is about as adjacent as any project, bless you, could be to the oldest house, which seems ironic that we would have something so contemporary in such close proximity to the oldest house. So I'm against it.
Okay, thank you. Abby?
Yeah, I think it's too much, too modern for the OH.
Thanks. So Michael, my thoughts are just the proportions need to change. And I think the column lists, the fascia, the pergola fascia height, it's simplified, not simplified, but downscaled, not with respect to the overall size, but the dimensional measurements, I think would go a long way personally. And also the fieldstone chimney I just don't think it's appropriate if there's any visibility at all. It's not a material, a use of a material that we're accustomed to seeing, very crisp. Even the brick most of the bricks are gonna have softer edges and a different plane field. So it sounds like we need some revisions, and is there anyone whose concerns revolve specifically around whether this can be viewed, or, I don't want to put you in a box.
We think a viewing would be a great idea because the previous application was approved based on lack of visibility.
Okay, so why don't we get a motion to hold for revisions and a view, and you said that the posts are still up?
Yes, per Val's comment, the poster's still up.
Okay.
Can I ask one question?
Abby?
Because the pergola material is,
Natural to weather cedar.
okay,
That helped for me.
yeah, that helps.
Okay, so we'll do a view, and we'll have it back next week, and if there's, just make sure to re-sign all the proper cross Ts and dot Is, Michael.
Yes, Michael, the deadline is Thursday by noon.
Sounds good. And for a view, you require a site plan noting where the poles are up, correct? Something like that? I
Well,
can
if it's
contact you.
Yeah, you have a revision in front of you, so whatever they've just requested plus the view.
Yeah, if you make changes, I'd suggest you look at some proportions and.
Can we hold the current application for the viewing instead of making revisions at this time? So that people can determine if it's visible at all?
I'm gonna need revisions.
We've got at least one member who needs revisions. I would suggest that you submit an alternate, submit the currently proposed and some revisions, and we'll have them both, and if perspectives change due to the view, so be it, and if they don't, you've got an option in front of us we can review.
Sounds great. Will do.
Okay, great. All right, on the motion for view and revisions, Abby, was that your motion?
Sure.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Carries unanimously.
All right,
Thanks,
thank you.
Let's see, 11, Pleasant,
That is James, and he is
regular
online.
board.
James, are you screen sharing?
Not yet.
And this is the new garage as opposed to the addition.
Did you say yes, James?
I didn't share as of yet.
Oh,
but
okay,
I will
sorry.
work on that.
Okay. Give Fiona a break.
No, I would like to share.
Sharing is caring.
It is caring.
This is
How's everybody doing this evening? James Kraft from Studio Park representing 11 Pleasant Street. This is the proposed garage. There are two applications before you for 11 Pleasant Street, a new garage and a small minor addition. We'll speak about the garage first. We received staff and Holly's comments, much appreciated. We can review those after we make a small presentation. But I did want to note, this has been before you not too long ago as it went through previous restoration and rehabilitation of all the windows, bringing everything up to speed. And this was just purchased by new owners last summer. So this is new work. The garage itself, or garage studio, is proposed as a means of relieving what's really, really tight parking. Starbuck is not a very wide street, or it's not really even a street for that matter. And the parking is quite tight down there. So we're hoping to add a garage portion so that we can alleviate some stress to the area. I can present in a little bit more detail.
Yeah, no, I think that's good. We eat with our eyes. It's the last page of the application for the elevations, if anybody's still looking. Does anyone have any questions for James? Mickey?
Yes, so James, could you put up the elevations so we could look at those while we're talking?
Sure.
There you go. Okay, so it's pretty tall and narrow. This would be much more appropriate as this 1-story, maybe story and a half structure. It kind of really almost competes with the main house in its size and proportion. The deck connecting to the main house is not appropriate. It kind of complicates the relationship. And the French doors that you see there in the top right view, they will be visible from the street. It's a complicated layout. I guess that's it. Thank you.
Thanks, Mickey. Who'd like to begin?
I can.
Ray?
Agree with Mickey on the height thing, certainly. It's much too vertical. And I also believe that the whole garage door arrangement, including the little pent roof over it, is just way too tricked out for that little area back there. Over fenestrated on the east side. That's it.
Thanks, Val.
Geesh, I'm the person who looked at this. I thought it was pretty good, but I put it on for everyone to review because it was in town. Maybe if there was some way to, simplify the front and make it look like it's connected to the house or completely separate it with a fence or something. But I know it's tall and skinny, but next to the house, I didn't think it was out of proportion.
Okay, thanks. Angus?
I share the concerns about the connection to the house with the deck and stair, and, the busyness of it and the height. I think a one-story with fewer attachments and less fenestration is going to be more appropriate. Thank you.
Thank you. Abby?
Yeah, I like the idea of it coming down in height, and actually its size front to back. I think it looks a little shoehorned in there, and I think that sort of takes away from the historic house. So I'd like to see some revisions on this.
Thank you. So my thoughts are, I agree with the comments that have been made, but I want to be a little more specific. Given the width as of the gable and as viewed from the gable, gives you an idea of what the height of the roof is based upon the pitch. And this is easily 4 feet too tall, maybe 5. So that is, and then if you're looking at the proposed exterior elevation south, it translates into these large A windows that are almost as large as the garage doors. And that creates a it's certainly an atypical low level in terms of recognizing it. But once you start looking at the size of those windows and the size of the garage doors, this is going to look almost, no offense, James, but it's like a caricature of, it's just not right. So for me, simplify the garage doors, address that pent. Maybe it needs to be a little wider or a steeper pitch or something. And the height needs to come down at least 4 feet.
I'll make a motion to hold for revisions.
Question to the chair.
Yeah, go ahead.
Just, we took the comments to heart before we even got to the table and already brought down a massing that brought this down 3 feet. And I just want to share it to see if this is a more positive direction. If you can see what's on the screen. Bring it down to a story and a half with dormers, bringing it down closer to 22 feet. Obviously, the windows change. We didn't address the pen width, but
I hate to break it to you, but the rendering is not showing up well on our screen. So I think the
That's
most
fair.
effective would be to go ahead and submit it.
We're going to.
Again, I'm thinking at least 4 feet in height personally. And there have been a variety of comments on the doors and separating from the deck. So I think we're looking at a motion to hold for revisions, correct?
Yeah.
We agree and we will resubmit.
Okay. Abby, on Abby's motion, all in favor say aye.
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 Any opposed? Okay, that carries unanimously. Now we are on to the addition. Same address, same board, same bat channel.
Yeah, so obviously you're oriented to the property. The addition itself is proposed behind this single story massing. So essentially, for frame of reference, and as you saw in the comments, we're essentially talking about adding a single story addition in this area here and making a change to the existing deck staircase. Similarly, we received the comments from Holly, and we do not disagree with some of the feedback. So you can see here on the site plan, here is a single-story balcony on the second floor that leads out from an office. And if you go to the elevations, you can see here, essentially we're adding an 8-foot bump, 19-foot wide. I think the biggest comment was regarding the existing bay being removed in exchange for alternate windows. So we have an alternate proposal to bring to the table. Additionally speaking, there were comments related to doors being full height glass rather than kick panels, and also this being coplanar with the existing mass. Let me go back to this. So essentially this being coplanar. So in addition to that, we also proposed adding a staircase to the existing deck in that area. So again, we did hear the feedback and we already have made adjustments and plan on resubmitting. We're assuming we're going to receive more comments in a second. So.
Thanks, James. Any questions for James on this so far? I have two, James. One, no bubbles. Did you forget?
No bubbles?
There's no red bubbles on the, like, for instance, A200 showing the proposed first floor and the flat area deck. I mean, we obviously see it relative to the demo, which I appreciate, seeing, but just to have everything, any proposed changes bubbled.
Oh, this isn't a revision. I'm sorry, this is the first time. I will bubble it the next time if that's what you're referring.
Well, bubbling we typically see relative to the existing. So the revision is what's proposed. And you've shown us, you've done one step showing us the existing with the demo, which is appreciated, but it would typically be bubbled on the rest of it. That's one question. The other is there a plan B that you worked out in case we want to look at it?
Yes.
Can we see that first?
Can you see this here?
Oh, same issue.
Just blurry on your end?
Yeah. I think, well, we're just going to go through the routine. We'll go through the exercise.
Go for it.
We asked questions. Nobody had questions. I had a couple.
I have a simple question.
Addie.
The addition that you're adding on, is it just where that little bay window is?
That's correct. So in the floor plan, so all we're doing is, or propose doing is filling in this area here.
Yeah, okay.
And in our, so, and in the iteration that we suggested as a bit of a backup, what we've suggested is rather extruding this out, salvaging the existing bay and then pulling it forward rather than replacing it with more double hung windows instead. So essentially, we're actually making the previous bay more prominent than it was before. And that's what was in the version that was challenging to see.
Okay, thanks, James.
Sure.
Who would like to comment?
Steven?
Oh, Mickey, I'm sorry. Please go ahead.
That's fine, thanks. So we basically agree with what Holly had put in her notes, that removing the bay window is inappropriate. The balcony, the flat roofed addition creating a second floor balcony is also inappropriate in the old historic district. And I have to say that the option that he's just presented just still doesn't solve the problem. It's still a flat roofed second story balcony in the old historic district. Thank you.
Is somebody's phone on?
In
Kill it. Okay, thanks, Mickey. Who would like to begin?
I can do
Right.
an easy one. I agree with Mickey's comments.
Angus.
I agree with Ray, who agrees with Mickey, who agrees with Holly
Let's get it.
on all points.
Abby.
I agree with Holly's comments. And
Same.
Yeah, I think a shallow pitch would be okay here. I don't think this second floor balcony is. I would like to see the modification without that. I believe we all would, and Holly's comments, Nikki's comments. And the alternate also revised, and all of the proposed work bubbled in the revisions. Is that somebody's motion?
That's my motion.
Abby, thank you. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Carries unanimously. Okay, we are on to 7 Barnabas, and we are cooking with gas, folks. Propane, butane, IBTU rather. 7 Barnabas, do we have, oh, James is still.
Me as well.
James, I hope these are bubbled.
These are.
This is revision of previous certificate, minor proposed item. So are we looking, which one are we looking at first? Sorry.
Revision 7289, I believe.
Main house chimney. So we talked about this extensively previously, and I'm not sure. You know, it's pretty much a pretty straightforward proposal. The owners and myself included were not necessarily in love with the previously approved just straight corbelled chimney, which we went back and forth on when we received original approval back in 2023. And so what we're proposing forward is a more open chimney. We know that it is necessarily seen as not as in keeping with the neighborhood. That being said, there are precedents regionally around. I'm not going to bring them up because I'm going to hear negativity one way or another. And much to what the chair previously said, somewhat over uniformity in some of these areas, I think it could be said that this is a pretty reasonable chimney that we've presented here. And that's what we're proposing as opposed to the original corbelled. That's all that we're talking about here on the main structure. So that's it.
Okay, thanks, James. Questions? Anyone?
I do.
Yeah.
James, was the original, well, now I'm answering it, looking at it myself. It's painted white with a black top.
That's correct.
I bet we didn't notice that before.
Supporting the British?
Yep.
Did Mickey already?
That was my question.
Not yet. Any other questions?
No.
Mickey?
Yeah, so the detailing is just a little too stark. I mean, even with this style of chimney with a cap on it, many of them have some corbelling, and this is just a little too sort of slick. So, and preferably not painted white. Thank you.
Thank you. Who'd like to begin?
Good start.
Right.
I agree with Mickey again.
Okay. Is anyone in support of these chimneys as drawn?
No.
Too modern.
And is anyone in support of a concept where just the sides are open or the whole thing needs to change? Which is to say brick across the front traditionally.
I think it needs to go back to corbelling, given the,
Yeah.
you know, it's a newer house, but it's modeled on a, you know.
Yeah, a Main Street
Yeah,
house.
exactly.
Yeah. James, I don't think you're gonna get support on this. Do you wanna hold for revisions and let it wither on the vine? Or what would you like to do? The consensus is that corbelling traditional is acceptable. You obviously can make changes along that line, but you're not gonna get support for this approach.
Understood. I mean, I guess I would hold it for revisions. Maybe there's a slightly more detailed version, potentially with some corbelling. But the openness is what we like about it, rather than a fully closed. But that also seems to be what the board doesn't necessarily love, or how simplistic it might be.
James, it's the
Yes.
open cases, the open sides is a problem, so you're not gonna get that through.
Can it open the other
Corbelled
way?
or not, I think.
Well, then I guess in this case, let's hold it for revisions, and I can decide to pull it if we don't think there's a better option. We can stick with what we have.
Okay, yeah, just wanted to be clear. Okay.
Understood.
All right, so we'll get a motion hold for revisions.
So moved.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Regular board. 7 Barnabas, main house. Now we're on to the revised, the garage roof.
So to go to right next door, similarly, this is the garage studio. We were going to propose, again, a similar chimney to match the other. So obviously that's going to get similar feedback. But the thing that we're most intrigued about, which received, some positive feedback, some mixed feedback previously, was the addition of adding a pent roof. What you can see on the screen right now is this is the approved version, and this is the proposed. Previously, the chair and Diane in particular said they weren't bothered by the pent roof, but there was feedback from other people the pent roof was a little too complicated. The owners like what it does, and there's precedent down the street at 33, as well as, I need to check the other number, but there's 2 precedents within the neighborhood of pent roofs. So at this time, I'm presuming that the chimney is going to get negative feedback, but I would like to address the idea of adding the pent roof onto the garage. So that's what we're here for.
Sounds good. Any questions? Mickey?
So obviously the same comments about the chimney. As far as the pent roof goes, it's the detailing. I mean, whether it's even appropriate or not is a question. It's not really necessary, but if they really want to try for it, the detailing is wrong. It's probably almost too short. It's way too high above the door. It should have side cheeks. And the bracket is questionable. It's just the detailing is the biggest concern. Thank you.
Thank you, Mickey. Let's see, who'd like to go, Ray?
I will.
Ray?
Okay.
Yeah, Ray?
Mickey said everything I have to say. Thank you.
Thank you, Val.
Yeah, and I was gonna make a suggestion, like the roof that you have on the east, James, the little hip. Maybe it could be a hip style with a little more detailing to it, and definitely the
suggesting-
brackets, more like what's akin to the ones that are in there.
Is this what you're suggesting, Val?
Where are you?
Adding,
Yeah.
Yeah,
we can look into that.
Okay, and lowering it.
yep.
Anyone have anything else to add?
I just want to say that I go by this house a lot, and you've done a really good job on the main house.
Thank you.
And I'm not sure that the pent roof kind of complements the main house. But perhaps if you did those minor changes, it might make a difference. But I like the simplicity of your first iteration. Thank you.
Thanks, Abby. So, I don't have anything to add. I think I think we could do a minor revision here at the table of Exhibit A if we want to. I will say though, James, at 20 feet tall, you ought to just slide this bad boy over to 11 Pleasant Street. It'd be good to go there. What do we want to do, folks?
Mr. Chair, am I on this one?
Oh, I'm sorry, Angus. Go ahead.
Well, I'm with Abby. I appreciate the simplicity of the simple shed there. The introduction of a hip, I don't think goes with the main house. And I agree with dropping the eave of that so that it's more in line with the head casing of the door and fixing the brackets. And I agree about the chimney.
Okay, do we feel, Val?
I'm just looking at it. Is some of the concern that it has flush dormers when you're looking at it from the front as opposed to the example ones that we're looking at that have, I'm just asking.
You mean in terms of not putting the pent roof on?
No, in terms of visually appealing.
Well, that's what I'm saying, is that because those are flush, you're asking if adding the pent, because really all we're talking about is the pent roof.
Oh, okay.
Right?
No, I was talking about the whole, it's fine.
But it's been approved.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah, this is well framed. So
So-
we're coming back to,
Thanks, James. So we're at that point in the meeting where we're wondering if someone is gonna like just jump right up and make a motion or what's gonna happen.
I'd make a motion to hold for revisions unless we want to do an Exhibit A with a,
I mean, we're
Well-
certainly happy to bring it down, and adjust the pitch if we think that that's helpful. And regarding to adding hips to it, I'd have to check with the owners to know if they'd be comfortable with that. But bringing it down, totally fine.
I was the only one who suggested that. I think the chimney has to also change back to the
Yes.
original.
Okay. So it sounds like we have some consensus around a slightly steeper pitch, lowered chimney not changing. Is someone interested in
Well-
making an Exhibit A motion and getting something off our plate?
Did somebody mention something about the brackets? Because we could put that into the Exhibit A
Yeah,
too.
what would you like to do with those?
I don't know,
Make those 90 versus,
They just look a little stubby to me.
And they're see-through, so you need some shingles in there.
So
You
we're
want to
gonna
add a cheek to it?
so we're
Is
gonna
that what
James, please.
Sorry.
Please. We're gonna de-stubify those by making them little shingle cheeks. So they're little chubby cheeks. Is that what we're doing in an Exhibit A, please, someone?
I don't know, I don't want to draw it for him.
Okay,
That's the problem. I don't want to draw it either.
yeah, I don't either, but I don't wanna have to revisit this for 15 minutes at the next meeting.
I think
so-
it could be pretty quick to, he's already doing our Exhibit A here.
There you go, James.
I think we could review this really quickly if we get the revisions back. We'll spend more time trying to draw it for him. But I think it needs to be deeper than that, and that way it'll really cover more of the face as it would. So I'd make a motion to hold for revision.
With a slightly deeper pitch than shown in your current work.
Like the ones you've shown in the.
Well, this one, yeah,
Yeah.
we're using this as a neighborhood example. This one is just excessively large in my opinion, so I didn't want to use it as a huge precedent. This
Knock 75% off of that, James, and bring
Yeah.
it back for us, okay?
done.
Okay, so we got a
Okay,
motion.
not a problem.
Revisions, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? I will note that if somebody gets this back, James, when you get this back, send it to, let's send it to Angus for review. It can go on consent. Like, don't forget that we can consent things that come back. Oh.
I didn't know that either.
Yeah, like, it
Is that okay
doesn't,
with
we
Angus?
don't need to, like, manipulate everything to death if we already agreed on it and they're just gonna draft it up. Okay, so we're gonna move on to.
Mr. Chair?
Yes,
Caitlin Cook from 31 Shimo Pond is here. She was number 1 on the agenda.
well, what do
She's
we
very
think?
late.
What do we think about that? Should we take up 31 Shimo? Okay, we'll
It was
take it
pulled
up.
off a consent last week.
Yeah. Okay, why don't we pick that up and then we're gonna take a break.
Thanks, guys. Have a good evening.
Thanks, James. Don't forget the bubble stuff and always give us our options up front. Thank you.
Just finished them. Have a good one.
Who is representing?
It's Caitlin Cook, and I just unmuted her.
Caitlin?
Hi, can you hear me?
I think we can, yes.
Shall I go ahead and present?
You may, please. Are you gonna share your screen or are we gonna drive, or are you gonna just direct kindly staff to the pages you want through your presentation?
You guys could share your screen if that's okay. I'm on my phone, but
Okay. Walk us through as we go. Just let us know where you want to be.
sure. So this is for 31 Shimo, and we're looking at some deer fencing, cedar gates, and a steel deer grate. I'll wait for it to load up on the screen, but basically it's going to be 3 8-foot tall cedar gates, an 8-foot metal mesh deer fence with pressure treated 4x4 posts. And those are going to be in the brush with at least a 5-foot setback, so that is hidden with the brush. And then a 10-foot long steel deer grate. I will wait for the pictures so we can see what I'm explaining, but that's an overall idea.
Okay, thank you. All right, let's see. Regular board, who would like to go?
I can't.
Ray.
I'm familiar with this house and I'm familiar with the landscape, and running this fence all the way around the perimeter, as you can actually see in some of the photographs, there's not nearly enough scrub vegetation currently there to conceal this fence at all. You're gonna see a ton of this fence, and it goes all the way around the property. That's it for me. Thanks.
Okay, thank you. Does anyone have a additional or different concern?
I want to just ask you guys a question. Because we see this stuff absolutely everywhere now. Is it the pressure treated that you can see forever, it never really grays out, or it just takes a longer time? I feel like some of them stand out so much for a long, long time.
They've been treated with something.
Yeah, I think it depends on what they purchase, right?
Oh,
So
we're in trouble now.
Can I just jump in here real quick? The gray stake galvanized looks much nicer than the 4x4 post, having done it a bunch.
So, Val, I think it depends on the material. It can always be stained with an oil-based transparent, so it's gray. Like we can always ask, it doesn't have to be painted gray. It can just be a oil-based stain or a non-VOC water-based stain.
With this vegetation, even the gray stuff is gonna totally stand out.
Mr. Chair, if I may, I helped Caitlin with this application and explained to her that she needs to push it back more towards the property and add additional vegetation, if that's any concern for you all.
I mean, back into the property?
Back into the property
Into-
and saying that that vegetation existing is pretty thin. So we did have that conversation.
Okay, and Caitlin, what are the size of the posts? Are they 4x4? Yeah, I see. Okay,
Yeah.
thank you. Sorry, the rendering, they look like 8x8 or certainly even bigger than 6x6.
I have a couple of
Angus,
comments too.
please.
So I'm familiar with this area as well, and there really isn't in the winter, there are deer fences that go up, that come back down during the season, but there isn't a 8-foot deer fence on all of Shimo, all the way from Pulpus Road down to the Shimo parking lot. And likewise, there's only like a 4-foot deer fence on the Hugh Newell Jacobson estate on Middle Valley. So, and there are no cattle guard deer grates in the whole neighborhood. So a lot of this is just inappropriate and doesn't work in the neighborhood. So I don't think that even setting it back is going to help. When you look at the landscape here, unless there's like an unnatural amount of vegetation that's added in like a 10-foot buffer along the property line there, at least on the corner of Shimo and Middle Valley, yeah, this fence wouldn't be appropriate. Thank you.
Thank you. Abby?
Well, somebody mentioned once, and I'm pretty sure it's true, that these deer grate things actually hurt the deer. So if that's the only, I just feel badly that, they're going to get corralled in here and then they're going to get spooked out, or I don't know. I think that fencing is inappropriate. It's too much. It's too open there. And I don't have a solution, because it looks like if you brought it in 5 feet or 10 feet all the way around, it's still pretty wide open. So I don't have a solution. Sorry.
Okay. Does anyone have a potential solution as to what we'd like, direction as to what we'd like to see in revisions?
I can try to make a suggestion.
Go for it, and then we'll go from there.
First, I want to thank you for applying, because a lot of people don't. Perhaps if the fencing, if you look at the site plan, started perhaps at, you know, like the edge of the house or maybe the back corner of the house and took it off of Shimo Pond Road and middle, you know what I mean? So just corral the backyard?
Oh,
Does it have to be the whole entire site?
yeah.
Do you know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah, I like it.
Val, is it like here?
Well,
And then coming off here or something, just so that it's like containing this area?
Yeah, I
And-
mean,
and
that general
eliminating that whole
idea, I
thing.
don't know exactly where, but it would push it off the road.
Okay. So we're looking to have the area that's enclosed by fence brought back off of Shimo and Middle Valley, or just Shimo?
I thought.
Off of Middle Valley as
Both.
well.
So basically extending perhaps somewhere adjacent to the house on Middle Valley and off the north corner of the house on the Shimo Pond Road. And do we want to speak on the gates? There's an image. I'm going to just go. We need to have a more traditional, and I don't mean traditional in a historic sense, but traditional in the sense of what we typically see. This would be a very odd looking gate. It would typically be gate with a wire material above it and not, or just a wire mesh gate, right? This three material gate is oddly configured is the point. Angus?
There, unfortunately, a lot of examples, so I would find an example that is what the chair is suggesting, that is just frame and wire without pickets, but, yeah, just something that's more typical.
Thank you. And Caitlin, forgive me, but is I have to ask because the wire mesh in the gate picture, what's the on center of the mesh you're proposing?
Sorry, so for the gate or,
Overall,
it's metal mesh gate, metal mesh, fencing.
yeah.
And also I don't know if I can make a comment, based
Oh,
on
wait,
your, sorry.
hold on. So is it the same on center horizontal and vertical wire as the gate?
No, I believe, based on the information from the builder, that it just would be horizontal, wiring, just horizontal. So not the vertical wires in the picture, but just the horizontal, like the drawing from the builder.
Okay, so I think what we need then is, oh, you're saying at the gate?
Yes,
Okay, and what I'm asking is the remainder of the fence,
got it.
is the mesh the same on-center vertical and on-center horizontal as shown in the image of the mock-up image of the proposed cedar gate?
Yes.
Or is it different? Okay, so that's the other thing you would want to revise, is that could go to like a 6 or an 8-inch
Okay,
on center. Okay, so can you address that in your revisions?
yes.
And then you wanted to comment, please go ahead.
Just on the fencing, there's a drawing further down through the application that more clearly lays out the proposed fencing area, and it is in the backyard. It is not on the road. I just heard a comment that mentioned it being on the road, but it is throughout the backyard in this application. That it's what it's intended to be, at least.
We don't have that.
Yeah, we have a site plan that indicates a perimeter
All the way around the
fence,
perimeter.
pretty much, well, around the whole yard and very close to both Shimo and Middle Valley.
Oh, okay. Is it not further? Maybe it's further down in the application? Okay.
No, and in any event, they're incongruent, so we need to have clarity in the presentation because that's what will ultimately be what is inspected on the site. Yeah, there's two sets of the plan overview and they're the same. So it sounds like you've got some good information to work with. And unless you have a question, we are going to make a motion to hold for those revisions.
Okay.
Anyone?
So moved.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, we're going to take a break too. We'll come back at 5 after 6.
Testing microphone.
We've eaten, we're energized. You're in But is Mickey going to comment?
patient, Jacob.
I'm joking. Okay, are we all ready? Ready? Go, no, go. Okay.
18 Mount Vernon.
All right, number 10 of new business of April 1st, 2025. Guys, our post-break recovery needs to improve. Ben, are you there?
Stephen, I'll be presenting this,
Okay, Mickey, thank you.
if I can share.
Please go ahead when you're ready.
Okay. All right, so here's the site plan, and you can see that 18 Mount Vernon also stretches around and fronts on Joy Street. So it fronts on both streets. Here's the site plan showing the proposed new garage apartment. The garage bays are facing Mount Vernon Street. We're going to be we'll be cutting a sort of a narrow opening between in the hedge at the front of our driveway so that we can drive through and get into the access the garage. Leaving the doors, we're trying to conceal the doors as much as possible from Mount Vernon Street. The trees and bushes and this bike shed, this was previously approved also. We'll also conceal the doors from Mount Vernon Street, the garage doors. The elevations are here. West faces Mount Vernon Street where the garage door is. The building is designed to make it look like a converted old barn, to make it so it's intentionally meant to look a little quirky. The south elevation down here is facing into the kind of the convergence of the two roads. So that's really the most visible elevation. And this east side faces Joy Street. We're going to be renting to a year-round renter. His access will be on the east side facing Joy Street. We want to keep this two spaces isolated and separate so that this is his access and ours is on the opposite side. In terms of the windows, we're proposing to have this really wasn't noted properly on the application, which says TDL windows, but we'd like a combination of TDLs and SDLs. The first floor windows will have TDL glazing with thin framed storm panels, and the second floor will have SDL with full length screens. And because the screens and the storm panels have the same narrow profile, they'll look very similar. The
Liking the elevator music.
Musical interlude.
Oh, that was your 0-minute warning, Mickey.
Oh.
Okay, well.
But go ahead and
I'll wrap
finish
this up.
Let's wrap it up, as Sarah would say.
Yeah, so the SDLs we think are okay here because it's not a historic building. It's a new building and it's well off the street, so you won't notice the difference quite so easily.
Okay.
And Holly did ask us in her comments to do a streetscape, and I'm gonna. This is the streetscape right here. This shows it for Mount Vernon Street. This shows the existing house, which is pretty simple, as you noted. And then this is the garage in the back, the bike shed forward. There's a number of trees that we're really going to be screening a lot of this from Mount Vernon Street. And on the south side, this is what you'll see from sort of the intersection. Again, the garage will be more forward with the bike shed, trees right behind it, and the house beyond.
Yeah. Okay, thank you, Mickey.
Sure.
Mr. Chair,
Yes.
just so you know, Joe Paul joined
Joe's
the
here.
meeting during the
The
break.
record reflect, Joe Paul has joined us. Okay.
Hello, everybody.
You guys have Holly's comments, you have Mickey's comments as the applicant, and who'd like to begin regular board?
I'll go.
Val?
Mickey, I think the only side I had a concern with was the west because of the two 9-light doors. Is there any way the one next to the garage door could like go around the corner on the north?
Point of order.
Well,
You are the authority having jurisdiction. Go ahead and tell them what you'd like to see as appropriate.
well, I just think that that looks too modern
That's
with the
fine.
two doors, so something to eliminate one of them and the one, yeah, that's my comment.
Okay. Ray?
Interesting point, and if I were to stay on that just for a second, I would also offer the alternative of just doing it as like a batten door to match the garage doors as opposed to a 9-light. And I'm looking at the plan to see, yeah, you don't really need the light. Anyway, I think it's well done. I like it. It's appropriate for that area.
Okay, thanks. Angus?
When I was reviewing this before, my concern was the fence is part of this, right? Because it's connecting the buildings, or is that on a hardscape plan? That's part of what we're reviewing?
Mickey, did you catch that?
Yeah, it's on the hardscape plan next.
Okay, so I like the quirkiness. I feel like that sort of works in that neighborhood. And yeah, I would rather see that batten style door that's on the east to be used on one of the west elevations, one of the 9-light doors. And I think that the railing just sort of makes it a little busy on the south at the stoop. I think that just the informality of the building itself, more like a barn, that it would be more like just a simple stoop. That's all, thanks.
Thanks. Is there anyone else?
Am I on this?
Abby?
I appreciate the using the old-fashioned colors of gray sash and red, gray trim and red sash. And if the SDLs have the historic profile, I'm good with that on the second floor. And I agree that on that west elevation, if that's the one, if that's the door you're referring to, that be a batten door instead of another duplicate 6-light on that west elevation. The door to the right of the garage should just be a simple batten door. Thank you.
Thanks, Abby. I agree with Abby, and I note that Mickey, the window manufacturer is going to be who?
Green Mountain.
Okay, your application indicates true divided light, both windows and doors.
Right. That's why I
So-
said that was an error in just filling out the application. We do intend to be SDLs and TDLs.
Okay, thanks. I'm a little concerned from the streetscape that this dwarfs the house, but it's not right up on it, so I don't think you're ever going to see it as such. But just in the streetscape, it appears to do that. Boom, ba-da-doo. Yeah, I'm good with it. What do we want to do?
Have we decided the batten door was going to be?
I think there was discussion on that.
Mickey?
Were we all talking about the same door?
Yeah.
Yeah,
right
the
next
west,
to
the 9-light.
Mickey?
Okay.
Yes.
Are you okay, just in the interest of moving this along, changing that one 9-light that's next to the garage door to a batten door?
That's fine.
Okay, then that would be my motion. Sorry. Were you going to say something?
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't be adverse to that having like a 3 or a 5 light in it, just a horizontal.
You mean up top?
up top or in the door itself,
Yeah, I don't care.
if you wanted some light in there.
Let's leave it as a bed, and if I want to change that again, I'll come back to you.
I have a feeling we're gonna see a 9 light in the future.
He would never do that.
No, I mean in the application, a reapplication. So the motion is to convert the western 9 light to board and batten, and that'll be a condition on the COA. Ray, that's your
Correct,
motion?
that's my motion.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Carries. Okay, we're gonna move on to the hardscape.
So the only thing we're asking for in the hardscape is this, the fence that's been brought up earlier, and this Keystone driveway on Joy Street. So the fence is, the fence is important to us for a couple of reasons. It kind of creates a separation of spaces between our renter and our use. And it also creates some screening for us from the cars driving up and down Joy Street. Their headlights shine over into our deck and bedroom windows. And we're just, we're going to be planting cedar trees. There's a few cedars on the site at the moment. I doubt we'll be able to move them, but we'll replace them and put them in front of the fence to screen that. And it's anchored on one side by the bike shed. There's an existing 6-foot fence already on the property on the opposite side of the main house. So it's not a new thing to the neighborhood.
I think you're good, Mickey.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, any concerns with this?
No.
No.
Motion?
It has cedar trees in front of it too, I think.
Yep.
I'll make a motion to approve as submitted.
Okay, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Carries unanimously. That moves us to 49 Meadowview Drive. We're waiting information on that application, is that correct?
Yeah, I
Miss
reached
Flynn?
out to Nate Barber, and he has not replied back.
Okay. And that moves us to 5 Coffin Road and another cattle grade. Good evening.
Hello.
How are you doing, Katie?
Pretty good.
So this is just a typical deer fence. They want to do the entire perimeter of the property, side setback, side fence. Well, there's no really rear because it's a triangle, but the two sides will be 5 feet in from the property line. Front one will be, I believe it's about 25 feet back. They are doing the woven wire 4x4 posts, pressure treated posts, about 20 to 25 feet apart with a steel post between each. So that really minimizes the number of pressure treated posts you see. But this property is surrounded by very thick vegetation. And then we have the typical 12x16 cattle grate. And
Okay.
that's it.
Okay, well, who would like to be in?
I have a question.
Go ahead.
Katie, it's only 5 feet back?
On the two sides.
Okay, and in the front?
In the front, it's gonna be, I believe it's 20 to 25 feet. I'm not sure why. I thought I put it on here, but.
Okay. And the reason I'm asking is because the picture that you're providing, like to drive into this house, shows the vegetation that's there, and I think if it was only 5 feet in, it would not be successful.
Oh, yeah, not on the front. Absolutely not.
Okay.
No.
That was my question. Thank you.
Yep.
Katie, these are natural to weather posts is what you're suggesting?
Yes.
And are you proposing to have the alternating metal post or all wood?
Alternating metal, because, I hate seeing those fences. People put posts every 6 or 8 feet. It's ridiculous and expensive, and it looks terrible. So 20 to 25 feet apart, depending on the span. And then, yeah, a metal post alternating between.
Okay, that answers my question. Any other questions?
Oh, I have one question. I haven't seen this before, but is there a reason that I'm looking at the photograph that has the metal post between the two wood posts? Is there a reason because that doesn't look very visible. Is there a reason that there aren't just metal posts?
It's just for stability reasons, the metal posts, they don't, it just, the fence doesn't last as long. You really need the pressure treated posts that go about 3 feet down. And that's what really keeps it stable. The steel post is just for a little extra to keep it from, but if the woven wire gets stretched,
Yeah.
if it's installed properly, and then you secure the corners a little bit, and having those steel posts just really keeps it, stabilizes it.
Thank you. I was hearing the metal being used for stability and then thinking,
Yep.
if it's what's stabilizing, just go with it. But I hear you. It's a combination.
Okay, are we good with the distance from the street? I just want to make sure we're consistent and also screening and stuff.
Fabric.
But we do have a question here.
Yeah, I have a question.
Val?
Is the cattle grate what people put in instead of a fence or a gate?
Yes.
Yeah, to be honest with you, I don't agree with them. This is, I'm just doing what I'm told here. Cattle grates, they've actually learned how to walk around them, along the edge, and they can jump up to 15 feet.
Or more.
Yeah, so a cattle grate, like,
so weird.
it's gotta be at least 16 feet deep. I'd much rather see driveway gates,
Yeah.
but, it's not my decision here, so.
Okay.
It's so funny because everybody is so anti-deer. The poor deer.
I gotta say that my yards, I try to avoid the deer fencing. My plantings are 100% deer proof.
Yeah.
I do not plant anything that the deer are gonna eat. I can't stand it.
Well, unfortunately, we can't mandate deer-proof plants or we'd solve this problem.
Yeah,
Really.
Okay, does anyone else want to speak on this? Or, okay, so I think the grate is, the proportions are inappropriate of the individual members and as a overall pattern field. I'm also concerned about the proliferation of these grates. They are just so foreign and they're, more than less permanent. Whereas the deer fence blends in and I personally would prefer to see a gate. I'm also concerned about the extent of I'm less concerned about the extent of the fencing on this property because it's only exposed on one side along one roadway, whereas the prior recent application this evening was along 2 roadways. So I just want to point that out for the folks at home. And oh, by the way, where's the camera? I need to wave to some people. They asked for. So those are my thoughts. What do we want to do?
Well, could we make a motion to not have the, what's it called, cattle
Cattle
grate?
grate?
And put
You could-
a fencing that had, a traditional wood fence would be fine out there with the wire above.
Or we could ask for a revision to show us the gate.
We could do that too.
I think the problem this client probably has with the gate is they become, even though I do prefer them, but in terms of the purposes of keeping out deer, they end up having to be automated. Otherwise, people just leave them open. And automating a gate is it's a lot of money and it's, kind of a pain, but I think that's why a lot of people are sort of
It's a good
geared
thing that
towards the
we're
cattle
concerned
grates.
about character and setting and aesthetics and not the cost of.
Yeah, it's.
Okay, hold on a second. Guys, we're not gonna try and persuade one another over I'm pointing out the realistic fact, the rational fact. I'm not trying to persuade anyone. The HDC's purview is not the cost of a grate versus the cost of a fence or whether someone wants to put up an automatic fence. We've all stated our opinion on what we think it looks like, and we need to determine what we want to do to vote.
So I had my question, but I didn't really give my opinion.
Angus, please go.
So in the photograph that shows the driveway coming off the road and the house in the distance, is, Fiona, are you controlling? Oh, could you pull this one up? And maybe zoom in a little bit. So, Mike, I guess I still have a question. Where is the fence in relation to this growth here? Would it be behind it?
In it.
In it?
It's gonna go through it, yes.
Okay, that was my concern, is I didn't want it out in front of it.
No.
So I would make a motion to either eliminate to approve the fence as submitted, but eliminate the cattle guard. And I guess it would be a revision to show a gate instead of the cattle guard.
I mean, I can run that
All
by
right,
the client.
and then I just, I'm going to second that, not that I'm actually going to second it, but I just want to point out there's an error in the drawing that would allow a nimble-footed deer just to step over one corner of the grate past the fence on either side. So if you look, can we go to the second there? And I think, can we zoom in on the blue? The reason I'm mentioning this is the effect in real life would be that that grate is pulled out much further than it is shown. So I'm mentioning it because if we approve the grade, it's not going to be where it's shown, because a deer would literally be able to, if the fence is here, it's going to come right through here.
Yeah, that's
So
why,
this wait, Katie,
I'm
please.
sorry.
So this would need to shift in order for the grade to have any effect.
That's not so great.
Not so great. But it sounds like we have a motion by Angus to eliminate the grate and to, what are we going to do? Have them come back for a gate? Okay. On the motion, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
Aye.
Okay. So Val is a no for the record.
So, Mr. Chair, is that a revision?
No,
Approval and come back later, or
I
through
think
you to Angus?
it was meant to be a approval, but it would be best if it was a revision motion, because then they don't have to open a new application. Angus, are you agreeable with that?
Yes.
So that's what it was, is motion for specific
so
revision.
not staff approval if I just come back and show a Manchester V gate with the.
Yeah, I think we're gonna just wanna see the gate in this area.
So revision.
Just pick something simple
A little
and,
more streetscape.
Manchester V.
yeah, you got it.
I'm going to sit off for the next couple and let Carrie and
Okay.
pitch out.
Thanks, Katie. Okay, so now we are on to 60 Winoma, 62 rather.
California Ave.
Oh, 5 California Ave.
Jacob.
Was the note, what was the note on this one? I thought there was something on that.
It was about the
No,
deck.
not this.
Okay.
The note, no. Holly had a
Oh, this,
comment.
Holly had been,
Holly,
okay.
yeah,
I just I knew there was something. I wanted
Right.
to make sure I wasn't missing before we started.
Right.
Good evening. How you doing tonight? Welcome to the
Good,
HCC. First name for the record?
Jacob.
Jacob, all right. When you're ready.
So I'm representing my clients at 5 California Ave, which is a private road in Nantucket. It's the first road after the bridge on Ames Ave. And there's limited visibility from Ames Ave, from several vantage points that are partially covered by vegetation. I'm proposing a second floor deck addition. There's currently 2 existing Juliet balconies, one in the north elevation facing Main Ave, and one in the east elevation facing Ames Ave. And I'm proposing to combine those 2, add a staircase on the north elevation, and then wrap the deck around the south elevation, which is the front of the house and faces California Ave. I know Holly said that this was atypical, but I brought a few pictures that unfortunately didn't make it into the digital packet of the closest neighbors. Almost every house in this specific vicinity in Nantucket has the same exact wraparound porches that I'm proposing. But with Holly's comments in mind, I also brought a plan Plan B and Plan C, minimizing the decks on the front side of the house facing California Ave and eliminating the incorporation of the back deck. I have more copies if you want. Okay.
Okay.
Hours off, did you announce?
Not yet. I was going to do it when you finish this. Anything else, Jacob?
Can I-
Yeah.
Reason I asked is because if Joe's on it, all the, this
Yeah,
material
I was
is not
gonna,
available.
I was gonna ask Carrie to step in on
Okay,
it.
got it.
So, Joe, you would have been in the rotation, but we've got materials being passed out to the table that will put you at a deficit, so you're gonna double up on the next two. Carrie, you'll be activated, okay?
Okay.
Yeah,
Oh,
and we'll pass this along. And this is Exhibit A and Exhibit B.
yeah.
Okay. Okay. We have Holly's comments. She emphasized earlier, and it's Angus, Val, myself, Ray, and Carrie. Who would like to begin?
I'm happy to start.
Angus?
Thank you for bringing the extra options. I think option B, with the just wrapping on two sides, follows the building with Nantucket in mind a little bit closer than the whole wraparound. But the existing proposal that was submitted with the floating stair and the balcony wrapping on three sides isn't appropriate. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Val?
I know this area very well. I've worked on the house next door. That has a fairly similar scenario with a stair. I would be good with the option B as well. You're leaving the stair on that one, correct? You're
So
just
the only
taking it
difference
off?
between option A and B is B doesn't have a staircase and A does.
Oh, so it's not the wraparound part that's changing?
No,
No.
that's the same on both of those.
Okay. Yeah, if I was gonna remove something, I would probably say remove, I don't know, west is what we see. Maybe the south. Just have it start on the edge of the south and go around, but really, it's pretty similar to what's out there, so I'm indifferent.
Thanks, Phil. Jacob, I want to clarify, you submitted Exhibit A and Exhibit B, which are, as opposed to the digital drawings we have, what you're actually proposing? Because
So-
it's less second floor deck material, one of which includes a stair, one doesn't.
Yes.
This is what you're proposing, not what's in the drawing.
So when I wasn't gonna bring those out unless it.
So this is your fallback?
It's my fallback.
Okay,
And
I think
when
your
Holly-
fallback is really what should be on the table,
Okay,
because otherwise
got it.
it's just going to be a waste of
Yeah,
your
yeah.
time. So what is being proposed are these less extensive decking. So
Oh, yeah.
please ignore the digital version for now, and we'll take one more look each at the paper version.
It's just two sides on that?
Yeah.
Yeah, two sides, and one has a stair and one doesn't.
I think that Exhibit A is good, because why not let them have a stair? They're stairs.
And Angus, did you need to? Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sticking with the Exhibit B without the stair.
So we have an A and a B.
Yep.
Ray, there's no C, so you're going to have.
I know. Listen, everybody would prefer B, but I'm okay with A. I certainly was not in favor of the original proposal. Thank you.
Okay. Carrie, do you need to see again?
Yes, please.
And then I'll take it back to C.
I would not be adverse to a stair, but just coming straight down like that, I think is not so subtle, and I'd love it if it could be reworked to be more incorporated with the decks rather than just coming down. And then I do have a question about this material. It's vault decking, what's that?
So it's the composite that Marine carries. It's weathered gray colored. There's a picture in the packet, and I have a sample with me if you'd like to see. But it's a weathered gray.
I've never seen it.
We used it in the Hummock Pond area, I think it's Timo.
On the second floor?
Same material. I don't know if it was the first floor or second, but it's a wood look material. You'll never know the difference.
Okay.
I'm more worried about PFAS, but.
Oh, you mentioned that.
We
Yeah.
got the, oh, there it is.
Okay. Any other questions, Gary?
Nope.
Okay. Now, would you like to go again?
No, I'd like to make a motion.
Okay, well, I would like to comment.
Oh, okay.
Before we do that. Thank
Okay.
you. Yeah, B preferred, A acceptable. I think the concept of integrating the stair somehow is more appropriate, and Val is ready to go on that number. Just wanted to tee you up, and now you're ready to go. Thank you.
Because that stair is, what you see from the road is the west.
No.
So we're gonna see the deck on, if you're looking at the west, on the right, it wraps around the back, and the stair this is the back, that's the west. You're gonna see, you probably won't even see the last few steps, which shoot by the building. The two neighbors closest to him both have the same kind of stair, right? That would be my motion, Exhibit A.
Okay, you sold it on me.
Can you date it?
Yeah,
So Exhibit A dated such and such is Val's motion. And whoever provided the Exhibit As, thank you. Jacob, of course you did, but whoever provided guidance. Kathy, was that you? Nice job.
Good job.
Oh, the exhibit is stamped.
It's stamped already.
That's nice.
Just date it. Please. So 5/6/25 is the motion. Exhibit A.
Did you want Val to review the Exhibit A when it comes in the office? Because I don't think there are any elevations with that, are there? Yeah. Are there elevations? Okay, I didn't see
Yeah,
them.
that's fine.
Okay.
Okay, so Exhibit A, give Val a call. Give Ante Val a call. Okay, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Carries unanimously. We're moving on.
Thank you.
I just want to remind you guys that when we finish the agenda, we have nothing to do but to go home.
I know.
So keep that in mind. 6 Winoma. 62, I apologize. Hello, you're Anna.
Yes.
Welcome to
I have
HDC.
laryngitis,
Oh, no.
Okay, and we're gonna,
so I will try to be under my 2 minutes. for my
okay,
own sake.
perfect. So before you start, I'll announce your board is Angus, myself, Ray, Carrie, and Joe, who's online.
Thank you.
And you have the floor.
My name is Anna, and I'm representing with 62 Winoma. We apologize for building the fence before we come forward with you guys. As you can see on my letter, we have learned after we built the fence that we needed to have HDC approval and COMCOM. COMCOM cannot move forward with our application until we get seen by you guys and approved. Our fence right now, it is on the edge of the public path on the yellow in the back of the property. And on the side, just go a little bit up, yeah, on the side plan, please. And the car, and on the blue, on the side where the neighbor at 60 Winoma is, that's our fence there too. So we are proposing to move out of the 50-foot buffer and go on the blue highlight on that side plan.
Is that the 75?
Which color is the
The blue is a
blue?
The blue, yeah, the blue is where we propose to put the new fence.
Okay.
Oh, I mean, to move the fence to.
Okay. You're very good going back to the mic. Nice job. Okay, any other questions?
For me?
Yeah,
I
or
got a
anyone.
I do have a question,
Yeah,
actually. So,
please.
usually we're not like moving into other people's territory, but that blue line is inside of the 50, and the rules have since changed. So a fence is a structure, it's got to be 75 feet away at the Concom. I think I'm right on that.
Okay,
You know, 75, put it going right through the middle of that pool.
Yeah, so our hope it is that we can get the approval to move from HDC, the fence to where it is, the location. And once we get to COMCOM, we will try to figure it out how we can get that approved through that board.
Okay, I think just to be clear that what Commissioner Pohl is stating is that the proposed location is not acceptable under the newer CONCOM rules. So,
Mr. Chair,
Yeah.
sorry. This was a violation that was submitted, I think it was sent out in November. The regulations changed in January, right, to Concom?
Yeah.
So they probably did not know when they submitted or when they.
Right.
So just a little background.
I think we have it in front of us. What would we like to do? Is proceed or?
Can
Go
I'll
ahead.
elaborate, I brought that point up, but I really, I don't see any problem per se, other than the fact of something relating to a board that we are not, of having the fencing the way you've shown it on the blue line. That's all I have to say.
Yeah, okay. Carrie?
Yes, we have pictures.
Yeah. Okay, Carrie?
So the majority of the fence, I did not see this before, so, the majority of the fence is the wire mesh and this wooden bottom half, correct?
Correct. So on the front gate, we have the posts with the caps. And along the side, if you go down on the pictures, a little bit further down. If you see on the side there, we don't have the caps anymore. It was just for eye appealing looking. And then if you go further down, you can see further down, you have more pictures. So you'll see those are how our fence is looking at this point.
Yeah, okay, thanks.
Okay. And anything else, Carrie, questions or?
Well, it looks like it's pretty well embedded in most areas in the bush, but there's a lot of spots that are visible. And I think since they have to take out quite a bit of it, we should probably take out and do something different where we can see so much of it.
Okay.
May I
And-
speak?
Hold on one sec. And Carrie, do you want to elaborate on what it is we should be requesting?
Well, I think I need to have a view personally.
Yeah,
of
that's-
the property,
yeah, that's what I
because
was gonna-
That will tell me a lot.
Okay.
The photographs help, but
So this is what I'm going to suggest how we proceed. Anna, we have what's called a view, and what that means is we go out and, as you might imagine, we take a view.
Yes.
So that will inform us of the on-site conditions. I think what we would request is that at least from Low Beach Circle and the path, can we go to the color drawing?
Sorry, Mr. Chair, before we proceed, I thought Joe was on this.
Yes.
Can we just,
Carrie, and 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, yeah, thank you. I was thinking that, yes. So I did say both of you, thinking someone, oh, because Val was drawing, I thought she wasn't sitting on it. Are you sitting on this?
No, I.
Okay, so Val is not sitting, Joe is sitting. Before we proceed, Can we go to the site plan, please? Because we're gonna go to a view, and I want to establish what we want to see when we get there. And zoom out by twice. Okay, perfect, thank you. And, okay, so basically what we would like to see, Anna, is where your fence is gonna be along here and along here. I don't think you have to go all the way up. You're gonna draw it out, but we want to see it so we can walk down this path and come around this corner. It's a public footpath.
Yes,
So we have an understanding. If you will put a stake every 50 feet with a colored marking tape?
so the fence is already built.
No, but you're
And then
proposing
we
to
have-
relocate it correctly?
Yes, and then Bracken has located already where we want to put it.
He staked it?
Yes,
And are there marking tape on it?
it is in orange.
Perfect. Okay, so we will do a view.
And there was just one side that my client has requested that, so if you look at this plan, this was done by Bracken, and Bracken has a blue line, not highlighted, but a blue line where he is proposed the new fence.
Here?
Mike, no, up,
Well, then
there,
you said not
that
highlighted.
one, down, that one. So
Okay,
there is
so
a
the
highlighter
highlighted.
blue, and then there is a blue line. The blue line is where Bracken put the stakes.
And is that where you're proposing to put the fence?
We are proposing what is highlighted in blue.
Is that where the stakes are?
No.
Okay, well then the stakes don't help.
The stake is most of the fence, it is on the stake. It's just on the edge, on your, on my left. You see the blue highlighted goes up and next to the path, the public path.
She means this
Yes.
is too bad it's not a different color.
Okay, but, so, I appreciate the help, but, so, Anna, what you're saying is that where the highlighted blue is where you want to have it.
Correct,
And then there's another blue line that is staked.
correct,
So here there's a deviation.
correct.
Here, is this a deviation, or is this somebody just didn't color in the lines?
So,
Wait, no, please answer the question.
it is on the irrigation system where he staked, so we can't put it on top of the irrigation system.
Okay, but it's just a slight deviation.
Correct.
You're following a stake line.
Correct.
Okay, so the practical effect is that near Low Beach Road, there is a very small triangle where the fence will be closer to the footpath, correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you.
That goes all the way around.
And the path.
I
is
didn't
up
say
top.
that. There's a deviation in the lower right-hand corner near Low Beach Circle where the highlighted blue is the fence proposed,
Correct,
and the stake line is in the dark blue engineer's line. So there is a small area at the lower right corner of the plan,
correct.
adjacent to Low Beach Circle, where there's a deviation. Otherwise, there's a deviation up near the house where the irrigation is, that's de minimis. Correct?
We
Just
have
have-
one more deviation.
Okay, where's that?
It is, if you go continue, so you allow B to continue on the path, it's right at the corner of the pool.
Here,
Correct, sir.
here, okay. So just so we know what we're looking at when we get out there.
Yes, sir. I appreciate it.
No.
Can I ask you?
Yeah?
I noticed in the photographs, your wood posts are quite close to each other. Were you here earlier to see the wood posts and then the metal stakes?
Yes.
I'm just wondering if you're aware of that type of fence, and maybe that's a solution for part of this place to make it less visible.
Okay, so again, I'm gonna remind you guys, we are the authority having this jurisdiction. What we require is what we require. It's that simple. We just gotta say what we want, and we need to be clear about it.
Please remind me where we are. Is there a motion for a view?
We are working that way. I wanted to make sure that when we go out there, we all know what we're looking at. So the view is to take a look at the view pack and note that the highlighted blue line does not, in every instance, primarily 3 locations, does not follow the engineer survey blue line. The highlighted blue line is the actual proposed location of the fence. The blue line of the engineered drawing is the staked area. So when you're out there walking around, you have an idea how to compare and contrast the two, that's all. Okay, can we get a motion to hold for review, and we'll pick this up next Tuesday?
So moved.
That would be a voice vote. Angus?
Aye.
Carrie?
Aye.
Joe?
Aye.
And I'm an aye.
And I'm an aye too.
Thank you, Ray. Okay, we'll see you next week, and we're gonna have a better idea what we're looking at.
Thank you. See you
Okay.
next week. Have a great evening.
Thank you. Okay, now we are on to 5 Watamo. How do I say it? We moved that. I don't have to say it. Done.
Yeah. Now we're 33 Union.
33 Union Roof Solar.
Good evening,
Hey, Tobias.
Chair Welch.
I sense, well, okay. When you are ready.
Pretty straightforward application for solar on Union Street, mainly located on the back portion of the roof. There is one portion that is visible from Union Street. It is behind a hedge. It is high up on the roof on a shallow pitch. It's very similar to a project we did up on Cliff Road, you might remember, right next to Something Natural, or just on the back ancillary or the additive massing we added solar to. If you scroll down to the picture below, you can kind of get a better sense of the building and what it looks like, and happy to work with the board to try to get some solar for this client. Thank you so much.
Thank you. We have Holly's comments. Mickey?
We were okay with this as long as the roof shingles are black. That's it. Thanks.
Okay.
Well, wait, Tobias
Okay.
is saying,
Yeah, I said I'm fine doing that.
Oh.
My only feedback would be, on the front of this building, it's the roof is brand new, so we were just hoping that we could just do that portion, just so it would blend in nicely.
Yeah, you look, I just want to comment, I mentioned once, not too long ago, how the club car had a seafoam green gambrel upper cord, and the lower cord was architectural black. And then I actually realized, despite the fact that when I drove by it the next time, they had changed it all to black, that I have an image of it from when I recognized.
so you didn't trim
Yeah,
it up.
so I have the image that I'll show you guys, but if we didn't recognize two different shingle colors on the club car restaurant, the gambrel roof portion, I just want to say, Bill?
Well, those buildings are like this far apart.
No, facing Main Street.
One roof.
Same roof.
Tobias, the ones that are gonna show the most is, because this is a one-way, is the one portion of the back?
Yeah.
Right there?
Yeah, correct, kind of coming down the one,
On
yeah,
the
how you would
east?
naturally come from it.
How come you wouldn't move those to the west? Would you get better power?
It's more, if you could go to the site map, Fiona. So those, thank you, Kathy. Yeah, so those bottom ones are more, the roof plane in question, they're facing more to the south. If we move them to the other side, they're much more of a northern pitch. If you can look in the bottom right corner, there's a compass there showing true north. And so that side would actually produce a lot more energy than the other side.
Val,
Well, that would be
your concern.
yeah.
Okay. So again, I'm going to suggest that we are clear and be decisive. For instance, those shingles are not appropriate, and that location isn't appropriate for you, or it is.
I was just making a suggestion of something that wouldn't be seen because it's a one-way, that's all.
Okay, I'm not trying to put you on the spot, but it's more useful to know, do you think it's inappropriate in the location it is or not?
We did.
Wait, Tobias, please.
Sorry.
Given the color
We're
of the
going
roof
through
shingle-
growing pains here. Bear with me, Val, I know you can do it.
I'm done.
Excellent.
Shall I go?
Angus?
Okay. So due to the historic nature of this particular structure and location, the OHD, and also just saving on your roofing, if what is displayed here on the southeast side moves to the north, I mean, yeah, over to this side, I would be fine with this application. This, just because of the one way, it's visible, and it's, yeah, I would find that this side would be appropriate.
Thank you for being clear. Ray?
Exactly what I just said.
No, it's not. I'm not going to debate with
Did
you.
it, okay,
Ray?
hang on, guys. Did I understand, was there a discussion about turning the back roof to black?
Yes.
Correct. So as we submitted, I'm happy to make any changes the board would like
Okay,
changing
all
the
right,
roof to
okay,
black.
Okay, so with the understanding that that back roof that we're talking about, where the only, as far as I know, the only visible panel will be, if that goes to black, I'm okay with the application
Thank
as
you.
submitted.
Joe?
I'm in agreement with Ray.
Okay. I am too. If it's black, it's going to go away. If it's not, then it needs to move. What do we want to do?
Okay, I would make a motion to approve this application with the back roof being, changing to gray, black shingles, sorry. And that's it.
Okay.
The rest will
On
be
your
as
motion?
submitted. Aye.
Mr. Chair Welch, Ray, perhaps you could add to your motion that the back additive mass, so it's not perceived as the
Oh,
whole
I'm sorry.
entire
That-
roof.
That's actually a good point. And that, the answer is yes. I would say the rear L
Okay. And
goes
that-
to black.
And that'll be written on the COA application. On your motion, Ray?
Aye.
Angus?
Aye.
Val? Joe?
Aye.
And I'm an aye. So for the record, 4 in favor, 1 opposed, Val. And that moves us on to, Ray, you'll write that up?
Yeah.
Thank you. We'll move on to 16 Cherry Street.
I don't think I can sit on this since I did the original approval.
Okay, so we're going to have Joe and Carrie.
This, thank you, members of the board. This next one's much more straightforward, very much in line with the board's guidelines. It's going on the back of the structure. It's on that spot on Cherry Street, just to kind of familiarize the board. It's a black roof. We're putting it on the southern porch. It's a covered porch, as Val knows, and on the dormer on the back side of the building. You can see it from a distant view if you recall, when you're driving by the Boys and Girls Club and you look to your right, there's that greenhouse. That's like 2 buildings over to the left. You can see in a distant view. I did submit the photos, but you're looking through trees, probably 500-600 feet.
I think you're good, Tobias.
And that's a porch roof.
Yeah, it's pretty flat.
Porch roof. Thank you, Val. Let's see, you have Holly's comments. Mickey, did you guys have anything?
No concerns.
Okay. Does anyone have any concerns with this?
No.
Do we have a motion, please?
Motion to approve is submitted.
Thank you. Ray, on your motion?
Aye.
Carrie? Aye. Joe?
Aye.
Angus?
Aye.
And I'm an aye, carries unanimously. We're on to 36 Bassett Road.
Thank you very much,
Tobias.
everyone.
36 Bassett. Is Chip here?
He is, Mr. Chair.
All right, Chip.
Good evening, yes.
I don't know if you were here earlier. We got a 2-minute clock on you.
Okay, great. I will get started. Chip Webster on behalf of the applicant for a proposed house lift at 36 Bassett. If I could, Bassett, if I could share the screen, please.
Yeah, please.
I think, okay, there we go. Perfect. All right. Did this come up okay for everyone? So this has in the upper left, the locus plan showing the location at the corner of 36 Bassett and Quays. Photographs as well. There's no proposed changes to the location of the house. It's just a proposed vertical lift of 18 inches. Here's the north elevation. In addition to the proposed lift, we're also proposing to bring back the extension of an existing deck that's on the first floor. You can see the existing deck in the top one and where we'd like to bring it back below. There's also a couple of steps.
Chip, you're breaking up. We're losing you.
On this elevation, this would.
Chip.
The purpose for it is to finish. Okay.
Chip.
How about now?
Yes. Try
How
one
about
more
now?
time.
Testing, 1, 2, 1, 2.
Yeah, that's better.
Okay, hello.
Okay,
Okay.
so you're
I'm probably
killing
at
your
my
2 minutes here.
minutes, so, yeah. I'll pass it on to the board for comments and questions. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Okay, we have Holly's comments. Mickey?
We did not review this.
Yeah, it's
Okay.
not in
I just figure if they're historic structures, so. The Historic Structures Advisory Group. Let's see, is the regular board who would like to comment?
I can.
Ray?
One of Holly's comments, perhaps our only comment, was that there's enough grade change here that we should be seeing some topo existing and proposed, and I would heartily agree with that.
Okay, thank you. Anyone else have a concern?
With the application?
Yeah.
Yes. Just that this is, it's right on the corner of Quays Road and Bassett. I mean, the guidelines are about the porches and decks and certainly a sunken area to be on the back side, which would be the opposite corner of this. So that's my concern.
Okay, thank you. Abby?
Sorry, I thought you said, didn't know I was on this one.
Regular board.
I was fine with this until Angus said that, but let me just go to somebody else and I'll be right back.
Okay. Val?
I can't tell from the photos, is the retaining on the east, it just went away. Already there, it's very extensive, the pit in front of the east side, where under the deck goes to the base.
Show me, I'm sorry.
Mr. Chair, would you like me to? answer that?
Hold on, Chip.
So
Yep.
it comes way out.
No, so this is existing.
Okay, I know they're adding that, but if you look at the side.
Right.
And then look at this, that is all retained.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so Val has some concerns about the area that's retained on the
East.
northeast.
And do you want me, Mr. Chair, do you want me to answer a question regarding the retaining walls?
Yeah, I think so, quickly.
Okay, so quickly, in answer to the earlier comment on the grade, there's no changes proposed to the grade anywhere. The house is essentially sitting on the ground, so it would just come up, except in the area that Val just referenced. And we have a separate application for the retaining walls under a hardscaping application that's later on the agenda. So this is specific to the house, and there are no proposed grade changes except in that one walkout area. Thank you.
Okay, thanks, Chip. Who didn't comment yet? Abby?
Yeah, so I'm sorry, I did not see that there was going to be a retaining wall there, but the architecture I'm fine with, but a corner lot like this is highly visible. So what is that going to look like, looking back on a retaining wall? How tall would the retaining wall be?
Here, it's on this sheet.
Chip, how high is it?
Yes, So you can see the proposed retaining wall on the drawing I'm showing right now, which says proposed north elevation. So it comes up a couple of feet above the grade and steps down. And as I mentioned, that wall is part of a separate application under hardscaping. So
All right,
it's-
Chip, so within
that-
this, Chip, from within the space, it's approximately the highest point, 5'6", and then it steps down 1.5 feet at each interval. Is that correct, as it goes out towards the yard? Or materially correct? I'm looking at the proposed east elevation.
Okay, yeah.
Okay.
The
Mr.
proposed
Chair.
north elevation, one that's on the
Hold
screen.
hold on, please.
Yep.
Okay. Kathy?
Just wanted to let you know that there's the hardscape applications on the next page, the second one, so I didn't know if you wanted to.
So, did anyone not comment? Okay. Chip, I just don't think this is appropriate in any way, shape, or form. I think if you, I mean, the retainage, I'd be open for discussion, subject to a view and staking, but raising the house, I just don't see it. And that's my position on this. A view?
A view, and
And the-
I don't think we have to look at,
Yeah, track.
yeah, and track the landscaping.
Okay. On the motion, all in favor say aye.
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 Opposed. So Chip, if you didn't hear us, we're going to hold for review and the hardscape will track.
I don't even see that on the list.
It's on the second
Excellent,
page.
thank you.
New business
yeah, yeah.
415.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you. Okay, we're on to 4 Van Fleet Circle.
And that's also me, so if I can, would you like me to share the screen? I can bring that up.
Yep, please.
All righty. Whoops.
This, please.
Okay, while this is coming up, where'd it go? My apologies. Okay, wait, oh, there we go.
Okay, Chip, your board is going to be Angus, Abby, myself, Ray, and Joe.
Okay, great. Good evening, Chip Webster on behalf of the applicant for proposed garage at 4 Van Fleet. You can see the locus plan and the site plan here. There is an existing house in the location of the proposed garage, so I want to direct your attention to the photographs. And you can see in the upper right-hand corner, maybe I'll blow that up a little bit, that's where it's going to go. And you can see the visibility is of the second level. The proposed garage is actually shorter than the existing main house by approximately a foot. Moving right along. These are the elevations, north elevation, proposed north elevation and south, and the proposed east and west. Thank you very much. I turn over the board for comments and questions.
Ray?
Two things. Chip, if this is indeed a garage, how come on the site plan, the parking area is at 36 and the garage floor is at 37.5? And so that would in part explain why the garage doors are sort of elevated above the ground. That's comment number one. And comment number two is you're showing a flat site on your elevations, but in reality, you've probably got about 4 feet of grade change from one side to the other. Thank you.
Okay, I think, Chip, I don't mean to be, but like, with that much inconsistency from one side of the site to the other, with respect to the grade and the structure, the topography drawn on the elevation should at least approximately resemble what's proposed, and that will beg the question of retainage and hardscape. So I think what we're going to want to do with this is we're going to want to hold it for additional information, being changes to the elevation lines in the grade lines in the elevations, and a site plan showing retainage and a hardscape plan.
Excellent, happy to provide that.
Does anyone have any concerns with that approach?
That
Okay,
makes
can we get
sense.
a
Using site.
motion to hold for that information?
So moved.
Abby, on your motion?
I'm aye.
Joe?
Aye.
Ray?
Aye.
Angus?
Aye.
And I'm an aye, so that carries unanimously. And now we're gonna move.
Thank you, everyone. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Is Matt, oh, Matt is holding these? Okay, both. Okay, so now we are on to, literally the Kentucky Derby rounding the bend at 7:15, folks.
Ooh,
Let's see. 5 Sun Island Road, Vale Albert.
Did you guys view?
Of course we.
Yes.
Okay, previously I applied for 4 of the storage buildings at Sun Island to change their siding to all metal from partial metal, partial shingled. And this was held so you guys could view, because this is the building A, that's along the little back. I don't know if it's a street, might be. It says Hinsdale, okay.
Yeah.
To view and see what you thought with regard to this one changing.
Okay. Thank you, Val. Did any regular member not view?
I didn't feel this.
Okay, can we have somebody, Carrie, did you view? Okay, so you can sit. And Joe, did you
Maybe
view?
for the other buildings.
By any chance, are you familiar with the area?
But I am.
I'm familiar with the area.
Okay. Abby, so you're familiar with it?
Yeah,
You
I'm
wanna sit up?
familiar with the area. I
Okay.
mean,
So it'll be Carrie and Abby, I guess you'll still be on it. Okay. Concerns, anyone?
No.
Motion?
motion to approve.
Okay, on your motion? Oh, we're all here. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Okay, now
Can
we're
we
on to
do something
36
about this
Bassett.
Jersey
Hardscape,
barrier?
that's on hold.
the Jersey-
Tracking.
You can't move them anywhere.
Now we're on to
Jersey.
121 Wallwinnet.
Robbie
Oh,
Newman, I
holding
don't,
Bassett, right.
he's not in the queue, Mr. Chair.
Okay, so we'll leave that open. 5 Coscata Course Way,
That's me.
raise up. So Joe will be up,
5 Cascada?
Cascada.
Yeah.
It's a 6-story tower.
What? Story time.
New business 415, oh, there.
Oh, right here.
Isn't that North Dakota?
When you're ready, Mr. Paul.
Okay, Ray Poole, for the applicant. I would spend my 2 minutes telling you guys how great looking the building is, but the larger issue is the purple area that's delineated as the site is only a portion of this site. This is Penske's property out off of Pocomo Road. And that rather gigantic footprint that you see sort of to the left and down, that's the main house. Up in the white area right by the bluff is their pool house, guest house. And as you can see, the building that we're proposing is whoa, it's my first time with one of these things. So that's Penske's main house. There's his pool house and the pool, and he owns all this, and we're just burying a little guest house in a Tupelo grove here. Now, what you might be able to see on your little computers is right here is a big wetland. So that we can't touch, that's Tupelos, we wouldn't want to touch them anyway. And then all this is wooded, so have a look at the elevations and the plans. It's designed to harmonize with the house, which Lyman Perry did decades ago. But I think the most compelling thing about this is just the fact that there's literally no way anybody other than the family is going to see it. Thank you.
Thanks, Ray. Oh, I'm sorry, who did I name as the alternate? It's Carrie's turn? Okay, I think you're up. Okay, so you know your board regular members and Carrie, and does anyone have any concerns?
I can go.
Abby?
Oh, okay. Yeah, I was going to say, given what Ray told us about the site, I think it's fine.
Okay, Angus?
And I like the architecture besides.
Well, that makes
Thank you. I'm glad you added that.
I agree with this, harmonizing with the structure that's already on the lot and lack of visibility, even if it were a concern, but it's not. So I don't have an issue with it.
Carrie, do you have an
I
issue?
think it's great. I think it's a little fairy house, like Little Red Riding Hood or somebody up there.
Nice.
It's for mom.
Val?
Mom needs to stay
I
away
actually
from
have been out
kids.
here to look at the storage units that they have when you first drive in. Because they wanted to recreate them at Don Allen, so I can tell you, you will never see this house.
And with that, would you like to make a motion?
I make a motion to approve as submitted.
Excellent. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Carries
Thank you.
unanimously. Kathy, be so kind, let me know if Robbie shows up.
I will.
We are on to the Nantucket Boys and Girls Club, 73 Sparks Ave.
Yeah,
This seems vaguely familiar.
Tim Holmes is up in
Tim, you're
Zoom
online?
land.
I am here.
Okay, great. Why don't you walk us through this when you, okay, so this is on the back of a black roof. Tim, just hold your comments, please. Will you guys look at the site plan and let me know if anyone has any concern with this?
No, because they already have it on the site.
Yeah.
Motion to approve is
Well,
submitted.
hold on. Just give everybody a chance.
Thanks, Val.
Old South.
I agree with you, but let's just make sure nobody's,
Yeah. I agree with Val.
okay. Angus,
No concerns.
all right. Val, your motion?
Motion to approve is submitted.
All right, on Val's motion, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. So that leaves us.
Thanks, Tim.
Thank you
with,
all.
Thanks, Tim. 35 Vesper. Hey, good evening, Rich. We're getting there. How you doing? Very well. All right, so, bear with me. Vesper Lane.
I think wasn't this on my thing?
So you're gonna have the regular board, and you can begin.
Oh, it's Billy Maderis's house.
You guys, it's self-explanatory. Do we, you want to take a look at the pictures and
I'm
let me
gonna
know?
sit off it,
Okay,
please.
so that brings Joe into it. Joe, you there?
I'm here, yes.
Excellent, okay. Why don't we just start with Joe? Comments, concerns?
Do we know the age of this place?
Oh,
Yeah, I think the only, the comment I would make is that the property record card needs to be inserted into the file, so if someone's interested in it, they can see it online, it'll show the footprint, it'll include the age. Rich, do you know, what this is mid,
It's
80s?
like, yeah, 70s, I think. I'm not 100% sure.
Okay, we're gonna look it up, Joe.
I'll look it up.
Other than age, any concerns, Joe?
No, I have no concerns.
Okay. Angus, Abby?
I looked at this, but don't remember it. No, I looked at this. Why didn't I put this on consent? I think because I thought I didn't know the age.
Okay.
So I just wanted everybody to see it first.
Okay, fair enough, but no concerns?
No, the architecture is not compelling to me, so I, Oh, sorry,
Before
sorry.
Abby gets herself in trouble, Angus?
yeah.
We didn't hear that. So yes, that was my concern was the age. And also, preferably this gets moved as opposed to demoed.
Okay, so, Ray, did you have any?
Well, just FYI, according to Holly, it's 1987,
Okay, yeah, I figured.
right? And I would agree with Abby that, it's
It's interesting, it doesn't come up.
basic building, nothing contributing about it. Thank you.
Okay, so how about a motion, folks?
So moved,
Submit, as submitted,
as submitted,
and the garage?
to track and also motion to approve.
Okay, so we're gonna do a double vote on your motion. You can say aye, Abby.
Aye, aye.
Excellent, now we're pirates.
Thank you.
Joe?
Aye, aye.
Aye.
Excellent. Ray?
The II is about the house and the
Yeah,
garage. II.
Angus?
Aye, aye, Kappa.
Aye. All right, so we're all ayes. Those are both approved unanimously. Thank you. Thank you. Joe
Aye, aye.
Topham. Good evening, Joe. We're gonna be a lot better in a couple of minutes, I'll tell you that, buddy,
Why is that?
because it's
We're
7:30,
about
we're
to
out of here.
adjourn.
How come we get the?
Because we finished our work.
We
In
did.
a timely manner. Because we were authoritative and declarative statements. Joe?
So this
not
was a draft and error where we did not label the door change on the initial application. So I submitted for a 6 light, but it never got noted, and then Holly picked up on it. So what I had done is I created a drawing showing the 3 light because the doors got taller to see what that would look like. So I submitted that, and then I reached out to the shop, and they had built the 6 light. So that's where we're at.
Okay, and Angus, you had this?
Yes, I did.
And,
Sorry, what's
I
the
think-
address? Jefferson?
I think the concern was, just as Joe had pointed out, the windows being different and the height being different.
Yeah, I matched the windows on the side that were already in the previous garage, so I was just trying to mimic that. And where it got taller, I just felt the portions were better. But yeah, it just didn't get noted on the drawing.
okay, Angus, anything else?
Just that, what was approved originally is what I think was appropriate, and I think the doors get too tall as proposed.
Okay.
Gosh,
Can I just say the reason that doors got taller is because I had to lift up the building because it was sitting on the ground. So it's 12 inches taller. It was a necessity.
You want me to go to Ray?
no, sorry, I was just refreshing my mind. Remember, aren't these doors blue? Like a bright blue or something?
They're green.
Green,
It's,
okay.
Their grandmother's favorite color.
Your grandmother's favorite?
Not mine, no, it's the owners. So it's throughout the property, that's,
Yeah, I remember there was something
yeah.
kooky
They're
about,
the same color. all
Yeah.
doors.
okay. I think that might add to the problem.
Yeah.
Just because they're going to stand out as two very bright green squares. But, yeah.
I have a question through the chair
Yeah.
to applicant. Is it, with that grade difference of raising it, is it possible to meet that by raising the grade?
I'm in a floodplain, so I can't touch the grade, because I thought about that. And so what I did do is I kept there are 2 little warts in the front. If you go to the, up, down a little bit, who's ever driving the screen, you can see there's 2 little warts that were existing there. I didn't want to make those too tall, plus I also have the 2nd floor above. So I could only go up to get it out of the floodplain, and then also to meet code, I had to raise that elevation. So as much as I would like to bring it up, I can't because of Concom.
Okay. Anything
Thank
else,
you.
Angus?
No, that's all. Thanks.
Ray, please.
How how much of these doors do you see from Jefferson?
You have to really stop and
Yeah.
look down. It's
Yeah,
kind of
I
because the
mean,
driveway
This is a
posed.
very, and I appreciate the intent of keeping little like pediments over the doors. I think hopefully we can all agree that the 3 light glazing in the doors, the old doors, was atypical, which allows me to accept the fact that, although this is not what was originally approved, I think it's approvable. So I'm okay with it, particularly given its remoteness and lack of visibility. Thank you.
And when you say you're okay with it, and Joe,
Sorry.
Joe, I want to get clarification from both. You're talking about option 1 or option 2?
Option 1.
Okay, and Joe, you are saying that option 1 is what you have,
Correct.
okay.
That's what I had submitted, I just didn't have a note on the door. And Holly said that door changed, so that was the draft
Gotcha.
error.
So option 2 really isn't something you're proposing?
Well, no.
Okay, I just make sure
I just wanted
understand
to show you how it looked.
what it would look like if, I gotcha.
Yeah, I
Okay.
thought it looked.
So Ray, yours is clear. Abby, you, I think.
Can I just clarify something?
Yes,
Are
please.
we talking about the six light on the?
The 8
on the-
light.
Okay, yeah, I'm fine with this.
Angus, I know you talked, but it was a
didn't.
while ago.
No, I'm fine.
Val?
I'm fine with it.
I know the site, you can hardly see this building in the back there, and I actually think the 8 light is appropriate with those windows in the addition and the alteration, so I am fine with this.
I agree with Val's motion. Val, do you want to make a motion?
Motion to approve is submitted with the option 1, 8 light doors.
Okay, let's see, it's the regular board, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Carries unanimously.
I'll go
Thank you,
hold the door
Joe.
open.
Yes, please. 7:30, folks.
Yeah, nice.
All right, we have amended minutes of March 11th. And I didn't read those.
I didn't either.
And that's got 3 pops in there, so.
Yes, and actually Sarah listened to the meeting and made it more specific, so I resent them to you.
Okay, perfect.
For 3
So
pop
I'm gonna
signs.
re-review them and we'll put them on for approval at the next Tuesday meeting.
Okay.
And
What about-
January 21st, 2025 minutes, do we have a motion?
Move to approve.
Regular board, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any abstentions?
Me.
And I'm a no, just because I didn't read. Okay.
Oh, my.
So that leaves us to ponder, I'd like you guys to think about if we're moving this efficiently, we'll begin to discuss topics at the tail end of the agenda. So please keep those in mind, and maybe we'll spend 10 or 15 minutes if we're get out this early next time to talk about 1 or 2 of those. So pick one and we'll go
Street
through it.
trees.
I think you can
Street
cross
trees.
off the wind turbine.
Street trees?
Street trees. Okay, how about a motion to adjourn?
I've got that handled.
So moved.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? You'd be silly. Okay, that carries. Thank you, everyone. I appreciate your patience as I drag you along with me. We are gonna get super efficient.
All right.
Actually, I should say as I drag you down with me.
Yeah.
Right down into the